Yeah, Sports Goombahs, web show, Cassidy King here. I got my chef to the left, Brendan B. Mikey Walls doing his thing where he needs to do it to my right. This is the Sports Goombahs show. Give us a call, 267-563-2893. It's your Sports Goombahs hotline. Also, we take texts on that too as well. 267-563-2893, Sports Goombahs smoke phone. Do some ranting and beefing about some flat balls. This is the flat ball show. This is the blizzard of the century with the flat balls.
Stormageddon.
Yeah. Sports Goombahs brought to you by Seal Roofing. Seal all your roofing problems. And I'm sure if you're in the local Delaware Valley, you're going to need seal soon because all the sun that's going to come here is going to collapse your roofs. Give them a call, 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066. Check them out at sealroofing.net. Also, Apple Public Adjusters. Now, I'm going to give you the Apple Public Adjusters hotline because definitely going to need some insurance situations here today.
Snow phone.
Yeah, it's the snow phone for Apple Public Adjusters. It's 215-783-1282. 215-783-1282. Check them out at applepublicadjusters.com. Also, we are a new sponsor this week. What we got this week? Oh, we got Auto Magic Car Care. Say it.
Automatic car care.
Yeah, you know those guys. Those guys are the ones that shine up your car, make it all nice, smooth. And after this snow and salt that we're going to get in the next couple weeks and everything, it's going to be a disgrace. Give my man Mikey a call. Mikey and Matt. 215-322-2561. AutomagicCarCare.com. All right, like I said, give us a call, 267-563-2893. You want to hear some of your ranting and beefing on the, on the NFL situation with the Deflate Gate, whatever the hell you want to call it, crap. That's what I call it, crap. Now I'm going to get right to my thoughts on this whole thing, and we're going to take a few minutes out and talk about it. I'm embarrassed to be a sports guy or a guy into sports, knowing what I've seen this week, which I thought it was a premeditated way of making money for the NFL. What they did here is orchestrated one of the greatest PR moves ever, as far as I see it. Now, if you take time and look at it the way I'm looking at this thing, I got a dead week. I got no football. I got two lousy all-star games going in hockey and football, which no one gives a crap about. I got nothing going on. Basketball is irrelevant right now. The best you can get is some college ball, and right now that's a little low too, as it is. So what else is better to put something out there to put the NFL on the map for this week, and they did an excellent job. It's an unbelievable job if you think about it. They orchestrate this ball gate, deflate gate, whatever you want to call it. I just want to call it stupidity right off the bat. They got everybody interested. I mean, the interest is going above sports, where I turn on Face the Nation when I get up on a Sunday morning, and their top story is deflated footballs in the NFL.
It's all Good Morning America.
Yeah, we're not talking about European bombs. We're not talking about ISIS in Europe and what's going on. The fact that Cuba's open now, that's something we got to talk about too. We can all go to Cuba now if we want to. Just the regular things that go on in the world that trump football, which is a game that's a ridiculous football game that has nothing to do with life in itself. You know what I mean? Now, what they've done is they made everybody interested in this football game. People who don't even like football, who couldn't care less, now I'm going to tune into this game on Sunday just because Tom Brady, Belichick, and now you have Seattle. Oh, they're back to woe is me again. They're Super Bowl champs. Now it's woe is me, Seattle. Like they're the ones. Oh, woe is us. We gotta make sure they don't cheat on us. Tom Brady could put a frisbee where he wants to put it. Don't tell me that a ball that's deflated by what? How much is it?
A pound.
A pound. And why don't the referees who spot this football on every play feel the difference? See the difference?
We talked about, I do believe we touched on it a little bit last week and thought this was going to be no big deal.
I thought it was, and I was hoping it was going to be gone by now.
But the problem being is we all were under the impression that both teams used the same balls, I should say. Balls. Because although Tom Brady says it better, but I'm just saying, I didn't realize that each team was responsible for their own set of footballs every game.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either. I played in flag football leagues, and your team uses your ball, other team uses their ball. I didn't know that carried to the NFL. I figured
I think that's one, totally ridiculous. You set yourself up like baseball. I understand that. Like,
could you imagine if the Phillies use this ball and the Dodgers use that ball?
Exactly. I mean, like you're setting yourself up for these things, and now to sit back and hear that a week later, hindsight 2020, that the Ravens complained and the Colts complained. So now you have multiple things. And of course, if nobody's going to do anything about it, you keep doing it. So call it what you will, Deflategate or whatever. Billet cheat, I think was one I saw out there. I think I stand by my original statement. Look, with all the media and all that crap you got out there, your goal is to steal the other team's signals. Your goal is in any sport. That's your goal. And if that's part of the game, it's part of the game. As long as both teams have the ability to be able to cheat the same way, who gives a shit?
As I came in here, I see breaking reports here that they're now going to blame one of the ball boys.
Yeah.
In the locker room.
Scapegoat is
nameless. Okay. So, that's fine. If that's the case, they're never going to be able to prove anything here. So they're never going to penalize the Patriots. You can't penalize for the thought. Okay. If they're now that ball, when the Colts take the field, they get to use their own ball. Is that what they're saying?
Colts use their Colts ball, Patriots use the Patriots ball.
I had no idea that went down in football. I thought the referees had control of the ball. I didn't know a team could control a football.
They inspect them 3 to 4 hours prior to the game, somewhere in that time frame, and then they're just stored.
Could you imagine did that in baseball? The pitcher gets to pick his ball as well.
Yeah.
Well, scratch his own balls, pick his ball, and shine his own balls up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then it gets to the point where like the only reason it got cooked that people started questioning us because of interception, I think with the Ravens game, guy went automatically. Now, an opposing like cornerback or whoever, somebody in the secondary picked off the ball and said something. This don't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously a pound is a noticeable difference.
Wait. That's what happened?
Yeah. That's what started it.
Who did that?
I didn't know it was I thought I heard the Colts.
It was first brought up in the Ravens game.
Yeah, granted, I'm not 100%, but I do know they said that intercepting the defensive guy, he intercepted and he wanted to keep it because it was an interception. And then he gave like a ball when they're like, oh, this is weird. This doesn't feel right.
So, you can say what you want.
This is perfect. This is just up our alley, too. It's not a bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the sport. We're not even talking about players, making plays, quarterbacks, who's doing what.
It's who's scuffing up a ball, who's cheating or whatever.
But here's the players, and then you got, what's his name? Sherman going off on the deal between
Goodell
and what's his name?
Kraft.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, they're friends. Look, the NFL is an organization of rich people making money after money after money. And Goodell is hired by these guys. Of course, they're going to hang out. There's no rule that says the commissioner can't hang out with owners.
Yeah, and there's no rule against it, but it
makes the penalty.
It makes it. Yeah, it makes it. It looks bad.
So if you
the NFL did what they needed to do here. This can disappear tomorrow. It can.
It can.
And they did their job. The PR department of the NFL, whatever they did to hype this thing up, they did it. And now it's all going to fade away. And what's going to happen, the worst thing that can happen now, is the Patriots kick the Seahawks' ass in this game.
I hope they do.
Well,
I do too. I do now because I think
I don't want them to.
This was a distraction for.
I did beforehand. I don't care.
Yeah.
This whole thing. I mean, of course, we're going to talk about it because it's in the news, and it's pretty much the only thing in the news. It means nothing to me. I don't care if they cheated. I don't care if they didn't cheat, because it's like you said. If no one's going to call you out on it, you're going to keep doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's breaking the steroids in the 90s, nobody was getting called out on steroids, and you see this guy hitting 70 homers. Well, I'm going to do it too now. And now,
so Brady's got a softer ball. He's got soft balls. So now he can throw the
Ask
ball
Giselle.
better. He's able to put it in spots and do his thing better because that ball's soft.
It's not so. It's just
It's a better grip on it.
It's,
Because you can get
it's
your
not
hand
because
around
the ball travels better. It's just because he can hold it better,
That's
and
what
the
he said.
receivers, it's easier for them to catch, or so all the
And it's
people
also
come out and
easier
said.
for a guy to pick it off too.
Yeah, true. Obviously,
So-
if it's easier
so-
for your receiver to catch, it's gonna be easier for a corner to
Okay,
catch.
so there we go. So it's not total cheating because the other team has an advantage too now.
That's like only saying, "Oh, I only scuffed the ball up a little bit, so it only break 3 feet."
Now we got to go over and start looking at the Giants because Odell Beckham's making catches with one hand, even though his hand's 10 inches wide or whatever. 10 inches wide. Imagine that. There's a guy with hands. Probably got balls too.
10 inches wide can't be true. That's way too
Why
big.
not?
You mean from finger to thumb?
yeah.
Yeah, that's 10.
a
Yeah,
span.
that's fine. I think
Yeah. Well,
wide would be
okay,
a concern.
Well, you know what I'm talking about. You look at 10 inches here, whatever. I'm just talking about getting back to Beckham is the way he's catching the ball. We got to start looking at their balls. Let's see what are they doing?
Nobody investigated because they weren't winning.
Well, there you go. Okay, you hit it on the head there with the winning stuff. It's any other team. If this is the Falcons and any other team doing this, then nobody cares. But it's the Patriots and they have a record. They have a record of cheating because in the 2004 Super Bowl, evidently they cheated the Eagles out of their Super Bowl. When I think McNabb threw it up on the field, but that's another story. And now look at all the cameras they use. There's so many cameras. Whatever they did back then is passe because now there's 1,000 cameras on the field and it doesn't even make a difference.
And there's 40 more thousand in the stadium.
There's no more
all you need
Spygate,
to all you need to do now is send Mikey DeWall up there with his little his camera phone, buy his seat, and he's texting you the freaking plays every year, and you got all their signals by the end of the first quarter. So that's why I said I don't care about that shit. If you're going to cheat, that's fine. That's a smart way of doing it because you're using everything that's accessible to everybody. But if it bothers me that a lot of people are like, oh, so what? It bothers me because you wouldn't accept it in any other sport.
To
You
me,
wouldn't like a curved stick. You wouldn't find that acceptable. You wouldn't
but
scuff a
B,
ball acceptable.
That's not the thing. Is it was
That's
a
not the
curved
point.
stick? It's not that it's not the point. It's the bloviation of the whole thing. It's the fact that we're talking about it today. If you get a curved stick in hockey, they don't talk about it all day. If a pitcher gets caught scuffing a ball,
If a guy has a 5-goal game, then yeah, you're going to talk about it for a long time.
No, you won't. Not you will not. The hockey will not. No, that sport won't do it because they don't have. It's not the moneymaker the NFL is. If you get a stuffed ball in baseball and a pitcher throws a no-hitter or a 2-hitter or whatever, or wins a game, it goes out the door in a couple days.
No, I don't agree with that.
It will not.
If it was Game 7 NLCS,
Okay.
Cole Hamels threw a no-hitter with us, and they found out this ball was scuffed as shit.
Okay.
Trust me, that's going to be
Or
all over the
somebody's
news for a week.
game-winning home run, Joe
Yeah, but you
Carter.
know
What
what?
if we found out his bat was jacked?
As I think,
Yeah.
Same thing.
I
It would
think-
never go away.
I think back on that comment, maybe I'm wrong because of the scuff ball, everybody's going to know it. The catcher, everybody on the field, it's not like it's a hidden thing. With a ball that's got low pressure, that's a difficult thing to figure out if you're not focusing. on
Yeah,
that.
I agree.
So that's I shouldn't use that as an analogy. It's not a good one. But regardless, it should have been dealt with and gone for the NFL to nudge it and keep nudging it little by little into the media and making it become the top story.
I don't think the NFL did
I don't
that
think
at
that-
all.
I
They
don't
wanted
think
to
they
go
did that
away.
either.
This was an awful year for the NFL. Probably the worst they've ever had.
It's about making
They
money.
wanted to-
It's about making money.
They're not
They
making
have-
money
No,
off this.
They're not. They got so much media hound. How could you say they're not making money? I'm telling you.
Well, they're always making money.
There's T-shirts being built for this thing already. There's all kinds of stuff going to be built. There's going to be to get.
I don't think the NFL is profiting off the Deflategate T-shirts. They're probably by
No.
mom and pop, on the
That's not
corner.
what-
Because
It's just-
it doesn't have the logo on
Yeah.
it. It's just Deflategate.
when you got publicity like this and it's bad. Okay, you might think it's bad for the NFL, but it's good for getting people's attention, and that's what they did this week.
They don't need to get more attention for Super Bowl. It is the #1 rated thing
Yeah,
ever.
but now it's going to be the number one. The most
already was number one.
No, the most watched show. What most watched 4 hours in the history of TV. this weekend.
Every year always is the most.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
okay.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna say this. What if it isn't?
What do you mean? What if it isn't?
What if it is?
What if people are turned off?
What
by
if
it?
people are pissed off, just like you just said? This is embarrassment.
Because-
I think it's freaking fixed now.
Because it's
Blah
got-
blah
yeah,
blah.
Because it's got a
And
story.
they're gonna lose 10 million viewers.
It's got a
worldwide.
It's got a storyline like the WWF, and you should be proud of this because it's working out just like you love that shit.
That's not true. Because Royal Rumble, I'm not gonna get into it. They turned people off last night, so don't compare
But
it to
that's
the.
okay. We're gonna talk.
No, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah.
Do a little
Oh, yeah.
WWF tonight because you were
You
there
hear that, guys?
and you were, you were my correspondent. I put it on
Yeah.
Facebook. I said, Mikey Walls is down there. We're reporting.
Reporting
back
live.
from- Reporting live. Evidently, All I got back was a picture you chopped up saying, "You see us? We got on the camera, but I'm looking on the screen. All I see is squares and stuff."
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be on it like literally 10 more times. Yeah. So I just saw the first one. I'm like, oh, let me get the best picture of this grainy photo I can get. Little did I know, it was way clearer later.
Quick sidetrack: is Raw in Philly tonight still too?
No, Raw's canceled tonight.
Oh,
they're up in Hartford, Connecticut, and they put a street ban. You can't be on the streets after 9 p.m.
Really?
Yeah. So that they're going.
Usually they used to do it like it'd be in the same town after a pay-per-view.
Not so
I guess
much.
they had a travel day, right? Because it was a Saturday.
No, it was last night.
It was last night. Oh, well, there you go.
But I mean, you can put back to the Deflategate, which is the main topic today. You saying they're going to be making more money? Let's say there's more eyes. They already sold their commercial time. They're not making any more extra dollars.
It's done, yeah.
The only extra dollars they could possibly make, like you said, are off merchandise and things like that. But they're not getting merchandise off something like this.
It's a ratings thing. The ratings will be out. The ratings will be off the chart for this football game.
I don't know.
Off the
I
chart.
will, but like I said, it will anyway.
Next year they can charge more because they said, look how we did last year in the NFL. Now we can charge the advertisers next year triple because we did so good. But if you think about it, let's put this in perspective.
By next Super Bowl, there could be 2 more murders, 3 more abusive husbands, and 10 more, arresting.
But this got more. This got more than that did.
No, this did not get more than Ray Rice.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it did. Let me tell you something. Ray Rice wasn't the top of Face the Nation.
No. Yes, he was. They made a whole. They made a whole
show about it.
Listen, it was no.
They made a whole commercial
advertising campaign.
Wait,
of people crying because of that one thing.
After it got into it, I'm talking about they opened up with it. Okay, they opened it up with it on Sunday. That's what they opened up.
I'm proud of their shows that were opened up with this. The Ray Rice thing was the biggest news of the year.
For a lot,
not maybe just in sports, maybe just in general.
In sports, it's probably the number one.
You can't possibly say that.
What was more scandalous than that? Because remember, look, guys, it's never the crime itself. That didn't get Nixon thrown out. Didn't get this person. It's the cover up. Afterwards.
Of course it was, because even with the Ray Rice thing, when it first broke, it was out of the news by the weekend.
Yeah, and he could have said,
until it came out later. There's a video of it.
Yeah,
and Goodell covered it up.
You guys still failed to see that what's Ray Rice's thing is completely different. It did affect the outcome of a football game. Is what they're trying to say happened here.
I agree with that, but that doesn't make it bigger or not bigger.
It makes it different. It makes it different. We're talking about assault and battery here.
You were talking about leading the news.
Yes.
Listen, first of all,
you think Goodell over here is backtracking, covering it up.
I'm not backtracking. You guys are putting it into my mouth. First of all, don't laugh, Pete, because you're talking about a crime committed in an elevator. I'm talking about something that went on the field of play.
We were just talking about headlines. That's all we were talking about.
Headlines.
We were talking about headline grabbers.
But you're comparing the two as they're the same type of headlines, and they're not. One's an assault. One's going.
Headline's a headline. You just said any news is good news. Any press is good press.
I understand that, but that's what I'm trying to. That's my whole point. That they were able to do that. They were able to get this at the top of the game, at the top of the news, and it's still the top. If you turn any sports show on today, right now, if we would tune into it anyway, if we go into Yahoo, right, it's still on there.
Of course it is, because there's literally nothing else going on.
Right.
And if Ray Rice punched his wife in an elevator this week, it would be the same. Yeah.
It would be back in the headlines trending more than that.
Of course it would.
I'm just saying, how the hell is Roger Goodell, after the year of poor decisions, how the hell does he still have a job?
He'll get a raise. He won't just keep his job. He'll get a raise.
That's not his job. His job is
of course,
kiss the ass of the owners.
I know this isn't his job, but he's supposed to be the guy representing. He's the face of this league.
Yeah, that's what I don't get.
He's not
specifically the owners get together. They hire a guy basically for what? To clean it up.
To be a mouthpiece, pretty much.
And to clean up the league, basically, years ago. So it's not even close to getting better. In fact, it's everything about his decision making has caused a decline, and they're giving Cashy half his material with the flags and this and that. How the hell do you justify this guy still having a job?
Rebuttal?
Because the people who are hiring and firing him like what he's doing.
Of course, the owners, yeah, and that just makes it even more corrupt.
We don't hire Goodell. We don't pay we're not paying his paycheck.
Well, in a way, you are.
No, well, how are we paying his paycheck?
Ticket sales, merchandising. That's where they get all their money from.
The franchises make their money off the fans, and
the franchises pay the commissioner.
Yeah,
and they all pay. Well, they all pay NFL. What do you call it? I guess whatever.
Revenue sharing.
Yeah, revenue sharing.
Who owns StubHub? Is that baseball or football?
I don't think.
I think MLB.
I didn't think it was either of them.
No, I think MLB. I'm sorry.
Probably. I think their like
Right.
main default logo is like a baseball
No,
field. Or something.
yeah, baseball has something to do with StubHub. I'm almost sure of it. I was just thinking if the NFL did, you can imagine if they pull something like this off and StubHub and the price of the tickets started going up, because StubHub to me is a legal scalping. I don't know how they can do it. The service charge or whatever they do over there. It's scalping.
It's owned by eBay.
It's owned by eBay.
And I had my suspicions. It says it's owned by eBay because you can't scalp I think there's something about that. If you own, like, they wouldn't be able to do that, to sell their own tickets at a higher marketed value than what they've sold them at advertised, because they're the owners. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, they're not always more expensive.
Well, I'm just saying they're not always more expensive, but they are, because if you do that, that's a violation of something. I know.
Ethics.
Federal.
No, it's a violation. Whoever's making the bottom dollar there, who gets to make the rules on it. Okay, StubHub was put out there to.
I love StubHub.
Yeah, I always get more for my money on my tickets.
I buy all my tickets off StubHub.
Yep, absolutely. Well, give us a call. You want to rant and beat on the stupidity of the NFL? 267-563-2893. You can text us at that same number.
Cash needs a tag team partner. He's getting. I
don't give a shit.
There's a handicap match right now. The chef on the wall.
Dude,
sounds like a real tag team.
Yeah.
Kick both your asses at the same time. Not a problem. 267-563-2893. Check us out on Facebook. Also Twitter, Cassidy King at Sports Goombahs. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Still trying to get the hang of that thing. You can't find people in this. It's tough to find a person. I'm trying to find it. So now I'm just following everybody. I'm just
naturally
following everybody, man. I don't care who you are.
Because naturally you're gonna have the oldest member of the team heading their social media campaign here.
Oh my God.
He's like, what is this? And what's a follow? What, this guy's following me? What does that mean?
Listen, I got no other way to get it out there. It's like I put advertising in the newspaper. I got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and
just follow them all. Follow them all.
This is old school. This is how we used to get people to know what we're
Get
doing.
on top of the roof.
If you're paying your bookie, it ain't my fault. Remember?
Follow us on Instagram. Say it.
Follow us on Instagram at sports_Goombah.
Don't forget that underscore.
Yeah, boy. 267-563-2893. I'm expecting a call from Frankie Calzone, South Jersey's finest. Better when it comes to picking the coin toss. He's going to give us a call in there. He's going to his 14th year in a row. And I've known this guy this many years, even longer. And the chef's been with me the last few years on the radio show. And now
4 years now.
He calls in just before the Super Bowl. And he says, he just tells us what he's going to take.
Does he have a method, or is this pure luck?
Heads or tails. What's the best bet on the board? Obviously, 50-50, and he does it. It's the whole joke. He takes his money and runs.
That's what I'm saying, though. But does he have a method behind it? Does he have an itch? Does he have a dream?
He's not telling us. He just,
I want to know his secrets.
He wants to tell us, because we know when it happens, and he told us here. He'll be calling in a little bit. And Jeffrey Brandy's going to give us his, from trendbetting.com, he's going to give us his Super Bowl pick. Of course, I'm going to give you that pick, and I'm going to let you guys tell me what you think about.
I want to get on that one too. Yeah.
I'm going to let everybody get on it. You want to call us in and get on it, and you can tell us you think you're an expert. You're better than us. You think you're better than me?
Nobody's
not lately.
better than you.
Not lately, because we're going to start the NHL next week and see where it goes at. Cassidy King, I got my chef to let Brendan B. Mikey Wall's over there playing with the computer.
What?
Are you supposed to wait?
I'm just playing games.
Are you supposed to wait the Sports Goombahs bowls to see if we warranted the NFL? No.
Nah, the bulb wouldn't give it to me.
The bulb wouldn't give it to you. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hashtag awkward.
Ooh-wah. Hi, Cassidy King from the Sports Goombahs. Listen,
I don't know if that's
shop
planned or not, but it sounded.
344tees.com for your favorite men's, women's, and kids apparel. T-shirts, hoodies, sweats, and more. With every name available. My man Larry Gilman will take care of all your printing and embroidery needs. Whether it's for business, sports, organizations, or maybe you're just opening up a pizzeria. 344tees.com will get it done. Call now, 844-542-2774. That's 844-542-2774. Their customer apparel marketing team are available not just to only give you the product you need,
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandy's and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Has your home or business been damaged by a recent storm and you're left to deal with the insurance company to make things right? Turn to Apple Public Adjusters and meet owners Patrick O'Donnell and Mark Stendardo. If you've suffered recent storm damage to your home or business, call 267-538-3373. That's 267-538-3373 and protect your rights and maximize your benefits.
Yeah, we're back. Ashley King here. The chef is at the left. Walls over by the wall. Live from the 515 studios. Bucks County. Snowy Bucks County. What's going on out there right now?
Got my hat.
Yeah. The Walls is wearing his hat. He's got no W on there, no M. He's just got plain cold on it. That hat says freaking cold out.
I got my Phillies P. I'm ready for the year.
Yeah. Yep. Give us a call, 267-563-2893. Web show. Doing it here live. All right. So, I want to get into next week's Super Bowl action. The real stuff, the football stuff. You know what I mean?
Forgot they're playing a game.
The fact that the last two football games we watched were real good. You know what I mean? I mean, the football was real good. You know, I got to appreciate that. You know, regardless of what the ball was like, who cares? The running game doesn't matter how soft the ball is, does it? Well, yeah, maybe it does. You got to hold it on. You don't fumble as much. That's interesting. You don't fumble if the ball's softer. There's another outlet for you. Make that your problem, you know? All right. Let's get right to the last week's action. I think, what did I give the Pro Bowl out? Did I give the Pro Bowl out last week? I don't think I gave anything out last week. Oh, that Nashville game. Yes. You see what happened that Nashville game? I backed off it.
Yep.
I backed off it. It was 2-1. They lost.
Yep.
It's terrible. No totals, no game, no nothing.
I think I tweeted that.
And no, you did not do the Pro Bowl because they didn't do the draft yet at that point. So you had no idea who the team was.
Right. I was going by Irving or Carter, you know, which if you watched that game yesterday, which was kind of ridiculous to watch. In fact, Carter didn't come on to the end. Ooh, let's go to the phones. Sports Goombahs, welcome to the show. Here he is. That sounds just like Calzone. Welcome to the show. This is your yearly call-in. Your yearly. You get the gloat. All right. Now, Mikey hasn't been here, you know, for the duration of our show since we were on the radio, even back when I was doing the skinnies, you were giving me the picks as well. Mikey asked me a question: What's your method? Do you have a method to what you're doing here? And I told him no. Or do you? Or is there something you do as a way of choosing your heads or tails? Yeah.
I lost you here for a minute. It cut out.
Yeah.
Say that again.
You gotta turn your radio down and don't say anything dirty.
Yeah, I don't have my radio on.
Good move. I like it. We got core with attitude. I was telling him Mikey thinks that I want to know if there's a method to the way you pick heads or tails in a coin toss, in a Super Bowl coin toss that gives you a 13-0 run right now.
I flipped the coin 10 times, and I go with the odds percentages on my coin flip.
There you go.
14 times. Well, that makes sense. I mean, at least he's got a method. He's not just tossing the quarter. He's shining up nice, flipping around a couple times.
I bet that.
Here's one of the greatest stats that I didn't know of. This is Super Bowl 49.
Yeah.
That means we've had 48 Super Bowls. Out of that 48 Super Bowls, 24 times heads.
Know it.
And 24 times tails.
That's weird.
That's a definition of 50-50.
That's a definition of a fix.
This is fix. Now, New England's been in the Super Bowl 5 times. They've only won 2 of their coin flips.
Wow.
New England gets to call this heads or tails, and New England always calls heads, and that's what I'm going with.
So
going with the head.
There's a pick.
Yep, that's a reason. It's a pick and a reason. You like the game at all, or you just staying with the toss?
Say that again.
You like the game at all, or you staying with the toss only?
I'm staying with the toss. I like Seattle. I think the defense is just stronger. I don't think balls are going to come into any type of effect.
No.
I think more of our concerns are who's going to win this coin toss. It's going to be heads or tails, and I'd like to start a new trend, if I might.
Sure.
The over and under on the national anthem is 2.1 seconds. It's minus 130 on the over and under 110. I'm going to call the under.
Wow. Who's singing that this year?
Some no-namer. Never heard of her.
Indian Menzel.
Is that what Johnny's doing?
Indian, was it Indian Menzel, something like that?
Nah, I had no idea. That's way past me.
If she's an opera singer, I'd take the over.
I like the old days. I used to play the national anthem with a bunch of instruments, and that was it. And then we'd play the game. Now it's the
Marine Corps band
would
play.
It's a money-making thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Indian Menzel, whatever her name is, just bet the over and drag that puppy out, right?
She's been clocked at a minute 57 to a minute 59.
Wow,
what preliminaries.
What an easy way to fix that. She can go in and she can get to the bank. She should call Mayweather up and tell him to the bank on that one and run that one past.
Just drag it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
If she doesn't drink a glass of water and she gets a hiccup, it could go over.
Yeah, we're talking about national anthems. Got down to that.
That's the beauty of prop bets. I love prop bets.
Yep. Yeah, I was talking before the show. The mic here, I was telling him, the prop bets have gone out the door because the way betting is now in sports and these sites that everybody online, you can bet anything you want, any game, any basketball game tonight. It has prop bets. Any college ball or even freaking high school games got prop bets. So the whole idea of you was waiting for the Super Bowl to play those prop bets, and now it's like really no big deal. I mean, it's fun if you're in a group of people and you're doing.
At least you'll feel less like a degenerate during the Super Bowl. If you're doing prop bets on a Tuesday night, Raptors game, you got problems.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just so much out there. Yeah. There's so much out there on the internet. It's just insane to me. Tennis, racquetball, overs and unders on football at halftime, in the quarter. I mean, there's prop bets on everything.
Yeah.
Baseball this year, the World Series. How many runs are going to be? If there's going to be a run in the first inning, if there's going to be a direct strikeout, who's going to throw the first strikeout?
Yeah.
Got to give the gamblers their.
Listen, That's filling the
Give them
void,
a
man.
fix.
You don't want to give 1 second of not being able to wager or get some action in there. That's the way it is.
Well, what better to do? They usually lose. You got to give them more options to lose.
Yeah, too many plays lose too many ways. That's just
yeah.
the way it is with us, And now, it moves the money and it's pushing. And you might agree with this, Frank, is to get the you get sports betting in the Atlantic City casinos. I mean, it's all over the place. It's just like the marijuana in Colorado. It's there. They're making money on it. We might as well make it legal and prosper as well. And I think Jersey's got to do it. They got to do it.
That's a way to save it.
Atlantic City. I grew up in Atlantic City. I watched Atlantic City, from when you would come down off of the Atlantic City Expressway, and there was nothing there but small homes and anything. And I watched it grow.
Yep.
I watched it grow, and then the decisions were made over in Pennsylvania to get these casinos, and I just thought to myself, that's it, it's over.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's
Maryland, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania,
Delaware,
the Valley Forge area, the old Pocono lodges,
right?
The casinos.
And they had the Indian casino, the tribal casino, what do they call it? The
Indian casinos,
reservation
casinos, yeah.
Reservation.
And it's
the Mohican Suns
right.
and all that. They're supposedly coming down to Philadelphia or the Pennsylvania area.
What's amazing is it used to be Vegas. That was the place you went. You had to go to Nevada. You had Vegas, and that was it. That was the gambling. To do real gambling, you went to Vegas. Then Atlantic City opened up. They put entertainment here. You had some fights here. You had the A-list people coming here doing their thing for the entertainment. It was good. And you're right. They stopped the buses. They stopped the New York crowd coming down this way. That was big for Atlantic City for years. They don't have to come this far anymore to pull a one-armed bandit that doesn't exist anymore. So yes, Atlantic City is coming back regardless. Somebody's going. It'll take a law, and they'll do something down there to bring that back. You know what I mean?
You better get a sports book then.
I got a feeling that you're going to see. I got a feeling that you're going to see. Smaller casinos, like mom and pop casinos, pop up, and I think the only casino that's actually going to survive down at casino is the Borgata.
Yeah, it's the only one that has survived.
It's phenomenal.
And you know what? And the Borgata, that's your only Vegas casino down there. That's it. I go down there. That's where I go. I mean, that's the place to go, and it's not even on the boardwalk, which is worse. They need one of those places, that type of a casino on that boardwalk.
Man, I liked Showboat I just liked Showboat because it used to have all the concerts. It had the House of Blues there.
Yeah,
go see a couple shows.
I stayed there like a year ago.
Yeah, I like that.
Showboat was great. I mean, you know that I'm a big poker player, big poker tournament player, and all that. But I mean, when you're at any given time, right now, you can go onto your app, the Bravo app.
Yep.
You can find out how many tables are being played wherever. Park Casino, Sugar House now has it, Borgata. And you can look at all three of those casinos. I'll bet you right now there's 57 tables going.
Yep.
There's over 500 people playing poker there.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it's just like I said, it's just amazing how they just draw because there's action there, and you can go there at 3 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. There's action.
You know what it was, Frank? They never the infrastructure of Atlantic City. They never made you want to go outside those casinos either. So once you stepped outside on that boardwalk or you crossed Pacific Avenue, and there was no place else to go. So you had to go back in the casino, or you got in your car and you left. Unlike Las Vegas or some of these other places where there's a secondary thing to do, and you figure with an ocean there in the wintertime, you die. It's almost like they got to put a dome over that city in the wintertime because who wants to go down there, in the wintertime? Unless they need a secondary attraction down there, something, they need a niche.
Well, who was it that just bought, what was it, Revel? Somebody bought Revel and
I fell through.
Did it fall through again? Yeah. The guy wanted to do a huge indoor water park.
Yeah,
it fell through.
And that's not a bad idea.
It's a great idea.
It brings the kids down there, and it's like, it's just like Circus in Vegas. It's, where the kids go, or I don't know if that
needs something family oriented because Avalon and Stone Harbor, and they can just drive right over it and leave, and the money leaves.
Right.
That extra money just leaves. See, if you got the, Wildwood, Cape May, all those places, they're hitting it up for a couple hours. They're not even, half the time they're not even eating there anymore because there's so many other options everywhere else. And they just go, and if they're hitting the boards, they're hitting it at the better places that have the family entertainment.
Yeah. So I just think Atlantic City.
I've never seen such a waste of money. It's just incredible. That level was just incredible.
Yeah. Well,
so oversized.
And you know what, Frank? Sandy killed it. I was down there in Sandy. I mean, that they opened up that winter, that summer, and they got defeated there. They had a delay in the opening, and then as soon as they opened up, they would Sandy. In fact, I stayed over there one night. I think they charged me $25 to stay. There's nobody in the whole place.
I tried to do that one time. When it was closing on that month, right. I figured they'll just basically hand you. They're like, no, $180 for a night. I'm like, what? Yeah, and get out of here. Right. I know nobody's there. Give me a room.
We were down there because we were trying to help people and that kind of stuff or whatever, and they let us stay there. But it was good. I mean, it was a monster. It's a monster casino. It's just it was like a warehouse inside, right?
But I heard even a gambling floor wasn't even that large though.
No.
Compared to the other casinos.
No, it wasn't.
It didn't have, and it didn't have the restaurants weren't even that good.
It was a monster structure. That's what it was. It was a skyline floor. That's
It looks nice.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you gonna do? But I think Atlantic City will come back. I mean, it's got to. And you can't just leave that sitting there like that. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Somebody's gonna get down to where it's cheap enough for investors to want to come back there and take a shot at it. And they'll do something different, make it the poker capital of the world. Make that their niche down there. Like you want to. Well, you think about it.
You can play poker anywhere now.
Yeah, but you make it conducive to poker, like it's all about poker. You know what I mean? The hotels are about poker.
Atlantic City gave a hard time to the corporation that owned that online PokerStars.net. The ones that were all caught up in that full tilt scam and all that.
Right.
PokerStars, the online gambling, they were going to buy the Hilton, and they turned them down. So
things changed. They got to change that up now because look what's happening.
We actually talked about it last week. The poker boom that's come and gone now. It's obviously still around.
No, I have to disagree there.
No, he means TV. He's talking TV.
I'm not saying poker's gone by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not what it was 10 years ago.
The Borgata just got done running the biggest winter poker winter open tournament down there. Yeah. Their first tournament was each player $500 plus 60, which means 500 goes in the pot, 60 goes directly to the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The first tournament, they had a day 1, a day 2, and a day 3. Okay. Over 4,700 players.
Wow.
Not 470, 4,700 players. Yeah. There's only 8,800 to 9,600 in the World Series of Poker.
Right.
Guaranteed in 3 to 5 years, this tournament in the Borgata in Atlantic City is going to be over top prize of $10 million. It's going to surpass the World Series of Poker tournament.
And that's what they need down there. They need that.
I just meant mainly from a television standpoint. I was saying last week, me and my friends tuned in every week to watch World Series. We played house games every day. Yeah. It's not like that on TV anymore. Right. Obviously, the love for the actual game itself is still there. I just meant from a coverage standpoint, it's died off.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Frank, I appreciate you calling in, man.
And don't forget, heads on there. Put it up on the site.
We will.
And I'll talk to you guys next Monday.
You mean next year?
And be careful out there. Drive safely.
You got it. Frank,
Appreciate it.
We'll talk to you. I'll talk to you up there. Thanks, man. Talk to you.
Good night.
Frankie Calzone checking in. South Jersey.
Bank on it.
Yep, it's funny. It's because it's nothing to do with the sport.
And that's what I like. That's why, because when I do my prop bets, I always make sure I do the coin bets. I think I've lost 2 straight, but I like that's why when I do go to the parks or AC or something like that, I love roulette. I like the fact that it's like pulling a Band-Aid off. It's quick. I mean, I win or lose. No skill
right away.
No skill. Just I want to know: do I win? Do I lose? That's it. I do like that. Not the slow burn of I just lost 25. I just lost 25. I just lost 25. Like, I just want to lose it all. Let me do it quick. Let me do it.
Tell you what, we're done here. Let's go to the casino and roll some dice.
I'm not in this weather. I'm getting home.
I got a truck, man.
What?
I got a truck.
Well, I also have to work at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Yeah. Hopefully, I don't have any work.
Let's get right to where we are at this point of the show. It's 9:45. That means it's time for me to try to earn some money from my people. Okay. I got a couple of hockey games I want to talk about, and then we're going to give you our Super Bowl picks, and the chef's going to give you his, and Mike's going to give you his as well. Got a couple of hockey games I like. Tomorrow night, hockey's back. If we talk, I don't even know we want to talk about the NHL All-Star game. It was a debacle. Did you see it, B?
A lot of scoring.
But that, it's a lot. It's like slow motion hockey.
The jerseys looked cool.
The jerseys were really cool.
There's my input.
Yeah, Doc Emmerich was going nuts over there, and
I
know it's a show. He's got to do something, but what? Even look at the fans; they were like bored. The thing that bothered me the most, that freaking horn, constantly. I mean, come on, man. It's like to a point of, it's almost like 34 times it went off. 34 times. That's a whole month of hockey scoring right there. 34 times. I don't agree with that way of playing that game. But anyway, regardless of that.
Did they purposely match up the jerseys with the Pro Bowl too? Was that the coincidence?
You know what? It reminded me of the jerseys they had in that. What was that game with the?
No idea.
What was Pacino, the coach?
Any given Sunday?
Yeah, it was like that's what the Pro Bowls. They looked like. They had that teal looking. And what did they do in the Pro Bowl that Cassie loved?
Oh, the camera angle was.
Oh, was that the?
I didn't watch the game. I don't know.
I didn't watch the game either.
Come on, man.
I saw highlights of the game.
I was preoccupied. I was out on assignment. All right,
whatever.
I was busy.
Listen, I'm the host of the Sports Goombahs. Okay, I gotta watch this shit.
I watched the hockey one.
So the thing is, it was great. They had the best cameras. I mean, that was the only thing I watched. And I watched the one play. It was beautiful. You saw the ball thrown in between a tunnel of players, and it was caught. There it is, man. There it is. Put that on the regular game.
Got your wish.
I got
you get it once a year.
You got it once a year.
All right. Anyway, let's get to my picks here.
Quick question before we get into it, because you guys are hockey guys. I saw it was Team Taves against who is Ferrigno?
Lou Ferrigno, the guy.
Yeah, I know.
The Hulk.
I know.
Gino.
Who is that? I've literally never heard of that guy, and I do know hockey.
I'll tell you what, Big. I don't know how it was either.
There you go. See, I'm not the only one. Who is that? Why did he get his own team?
Where's Marty St. Louis at?
Because I'll tell you why. Because he got voted.
Is he a hometown guy from where? From Columbus? Is that why?
No, I'm not sure. But I think that I'm not quite sure how they do it, but I'm pretty sure the captains get voted on as the top two highest votes is the teams. And basically,
I knew hockey.
I
know Taves.
I was thinking to myself, no, that's none of the draw.
Ovechkin. It's interesting if you watch the draft, which I did, and it was fun. It was stupid.
The drafts
it was silly.
fun. Yeah, they're fun
because it's like you're picking your fantasy.
Exactly.
Your fantasy
except they're literally sitting across the room from you.
And you sit there and Ovechkin, who normally I can't stand. He's all glamour boy, but he's got no tooth in, and he's like, and he's bitching. He's like, "Don't pick me. I want the car." Because traditionally in hockey, the guy gets pissed, gets a car. But since the fans picked out who the last two people were in the draft, decide where they're going, those two got the car. Ovechkin was bitching and moaning. He wanted to be picked last.
I'm sure he can't afford it.
Yeah, I mean, but so Honda ended up giving him a car so he could donate it to charity, and that's what he was trying to do the whole time.
Okay, good.
You agreed with me. You didn't know the guy was either.
I'm just saying. But B did. He cleared it up for us, right? I still know.
No, he didn't. He had no idea who he played for.
Hockey.
He's on it. He's pulling it up.
Listen, like I said, hockey is no good until March, April. That's when hockey kicks in. Right now, it's just for the gamblers, right? Like me. Like right now. Like tomorrow. Tomorrow, I got Colorado invading Nashville. Okay. The line here, I'm sitting on a 5.5 game total. I got to figure Nashville's a 2.5 or at worst a 3.5, but I can't see it being a 3.5. Colorado's not a terrible defensive team. They're a good goal. I'm taking Nashville in the over 2.5. I'm also going to lay the 170 to win 100 in this one. You know me in Nashville. This is my Dow Jones team. Okay, they're coming off a loss before the All-Star break, and which we told you last week to stay away from. At first, I was going to take it, and I said, you know what? This is not good. I don't like it. Doesn't feel right. Doesn't
don't
look
force
right.
it.
It's a bad spot. No reason to play it or not. So I like that. I like Nashville over the 2.5, and I like the game too, the 170. If you want to just take one or the other, I would take them both. I can't take one or the other. Because Nashville could win this game 2-1. They seem to be scoring 3 goals a game. That's their thing when they win. Nashville's not a high scoring team, but they're all together. This is one of the best teams in hockey right now. They're rounded real nice. The other game doesn't even have a line out on it. Arizona is hosting the Flyers, which means Philadelphia's flying out to the Super Bowl.
No, it's here.
It's here?
It's here tomorrow night. Yeah.
Oh, I've been corrected. All right, whatever. That doesn't change things because I like the over in this game. I don't think the Flyers defense is sloppy at best right now. I don't even know who's playing on this team anymore. The goalie, I don't know. Every night, I don't know who the goalie's going to be. I know it's not Mason. And is that guy Zepp? What's his name?
Zepp.
Is he still with the team? The 35-year-old
so far,
rookie?
yep.
Okay. He's a flash in the pan if there is a pan, if there ever was a pan. So I'm figuring Emmerich's going to be the goalie tomorrow. I don't like the way he's been playing. Arizona is Arizona. Phoenix, whatever. They're a middle of the road hockey team. They're always in the middle. They're never that bad or never that good. They're always in the middle. And a 5.5, it's a low score. I think this game is going to be a high-scoring game because I think Phoenix will score on the Flyers tomorrow. I think the Flyers score too. They got one line to play with, and that's all they're dealing with these days. Flyers. They got one line. Philadelphia hockey around here is why I'm thankful that the NFL had a ball problem. The NFL had a nut problem. The nuts were bad. So those are two hockey games that I like. I like the Arizona and Flyers over 5.5. Like Nashville over the 2.5 and a -1.7 to win the hockey game. That's all tomorrow night. That's what I got you. And those plays are brought to you by Boogaloo Vape Shop. Boogaloo Vape Shop. Yeah, our gang at 943 McDade Boulevard, Collinsdale, PA. I mean, come on. Let's face it. The alternative to smoking cigarettes is vaping. If you want to vape, you want to go to Boogaloo Vape Shop, 943 McDade Boulevard. Give them a call. Check them out. 610-915-3035. That's 610-915-3035. Or check them out on Instagram. And I think they're a Facebook page too. Just go to Boogaloo Vape Shop. All right. Super Bowl. Balls aside. Okay. I'm sure they're going to have the National Guard surrounding the balls. Okay, they're gonna have, and I guarantee you, there is a camera. There's who's carrying Fox this year? I think it's Fox, right? No, it's not. NBC's carrying, right? What you call it? I'm going to get Al Michaels this year, right?
Yeah. And it's Collinsworth and Michaels, right?
Yeah, Collinsworth Michaels. So we're going to have a camera mounted on that box, and security probably have a little like special little infrareds on there too. The hand goes into the box and the light goes on.
Like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. It's gold.
A movie I haven't seen.
It's gold, Jerry. Gold. So
I was just gonna go. Oh my God!
This game is going to have so many other things going on in it, other than who's the halftime show this year?
Katy Perry
and
not bad.
Lenny Kravitz.
Oh, great.
Yeah, well, Lenny's making a comeback. Well, it's not really. He's actually a studio guitar player, so he's on a lot of things. He just doesn't do a lot of his own stuff. Regardless of that, that'll be that's an hour and a half.
Hey, at least they're getting away from the geriatric club every year with Rolling Stones and U2.
And the Who, that was a run there for a
while.
That
was awful.
That was the mid-2000s run they had on that stuff, yeah.
If you weren't over 45, you weren't getting it.
Well, I guess they were targeting the old crowd back. They want to bring the crowd back to the Super Bowl. It's going to be a lot of distractions in this game and a lot of talk, and it's going to be slowed up play because referees are going to be feeling these balls like they're feeling their own balls. It's going to slow everything down. And that plays to Seattle, I think, a little bit. If the game is slowed down a little bit, if plays being scrutinized every 5 minutes, I don't think we're going to see a lot of flags in the penalty, which I liked about what's going on in the last two games. They put the flags away a little bit, let these guys play. With that being said, I think that when you tick Superman off, and that's what I call every time they tick off Brady, he comes back. They pissed him off in Game 3 this year. When that happens to him, he comes back and he plays hard and he plays good. And Belichick too. You can shake your head all you want. I mean, I'm just telling you what I'm talking about here. Whether you shake your head or not doesn't change the way that I feel in the game. But I like the Patriots. They're a -1 here. They're the favorite. When it's a -1, don't mean shit. It means they're actually 2-point underdog. So I like the Patriots to win this game. I mean, it's not going to be a lot of scoring in this one, and the scoring might be done defensively on both sides. I think in this one, I don't think there's going to be any, no high scoring. It's not. You can't do it against Seattle. They showed you what they did to Manning last year, and they're all hyped up to do it again. The one thing they want to do, the woe is me Seattle team is going to, they're woe and me, but what they want to do is stop the two best quarterbacks of the decade, one right after each other in the Super Bowl, which would be a trophy in itself at this point. Yeah. But I don't see it happen. But I don't see it happen. But if I look on the Patriots side of their wide receivers, I mean, you shut down Gronkowski and you don't let Gronkowski beat you. Okay, softballs or not. And that's it. And you just got to shut down the running game, which Seattle can. Everything here points to Seattle. That's why I'm taking New England. You know what I mean? I'm tired of being on I think the majority of people want to see Seattle win this thing based on the fact it's the second Super Bowl. There's a lot of personal things about Seattle I don't like. And then number one is their coach. Mm-hmm. It's funny. And I say that, and then I see him in a press conference, and he's cool. But on that sideline, and when he's mic'd up, you just want to slap him in the head, running up and down the field. You know, it's annoying.
Doing his job.
He's doing his job. Running down the field, acting like a goofball, and then some of that mic'd up stuff that they had on him. He's really, he went. I don't know. He's annoying. He annoyed me with the Jets. He annoyed me when he was in college coach for USC. So the bottom line is that I don't want to see him up there holding up that trophy again. Belichick, I'm used to holding the trophy or some kind of trophy. It's just the way it is. I like the Patriots in this one, and that's it. Bottom line.
Same. All Patriots.
All Patriots.
All Patriots all the time. And again, I said all Denver last year, but
I'm gonna go a little geek on you. I'm gonna take your Superman and raid your Legion of Doom because I think that Superman.
You gonna throw Lindros out there?
No, Legion of Doom. I'm gonna say that if it's Brady's Superman, then he's got a whole bunch of kryptonite sitting in that secondary.
And he does, and it's a war.
And I'll say this. I'll say Seattle to win outright and under. And
way to go out on and say outright. They're 1 point dog.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. They're gonna win. They're gonna win, and they're gonna win by at least. I'm not gonna even say that, but they're gonna win. I think my prop bet. Gronk's gonna get the first. That's my prop. He's gonna get the first score. But this game, it's a low scoring game. I just think it's gonna be battle. Great defenses. I think it's going to be good, very good Super Bowl.
First of all, Patriots aren't a great defense. That's not their forte. Is not defense. I mean, they're
But let's face it, Seattle's offense isn't that great. It's misleading. It's misleading.
No, it's not that great.
It's very misleading. On paper, it looks great because
it's not a come from behind. Really it's not a come from behind.
Exactly,
offense.
And they have to stay. They'll give up. They'll score first. Green Bay will score.
Green Bay.
I mean, Gronk will score first with the Patriots, and then they march right down the field or whatever. But I don't see Seattle behind long in this game at all. And then they score and they stay ahead because that's the only way that's the way they play, and I see that happening.
All right, so you're Seattle all the way. Okay,
Seattle under. Yep.
Seattle under. You know what the under and over is?
I'll never root for the under.
I can't. I never. I don't think. I think I've made one under play in my whole career and I hit it. It was in a baseball game. I think it was. I took it under. And
it's possible under though. You get two good pitchers, but not. I mean, when it comes to football, it's not. It's never fun to take the under.
Nah.
Because
it's not supposed to be fun, man. It's supposed to be the way we do it here. It's about.
No, I know. I'm saying, but like when you said last week where you had the over and you were done watching by the first quarter or first period. I don't know what sport it was.
It was hockey.
Yeah, well, so period. I don't know. I don't know what sport
it was. A 5 too. I think.
But the thing is that he stopped watching. It was over. You picked the under. You have to sweat out the entire game. I don't care if it's 0-0 to the fourth. You explode. You just lost. That's why I always like the overs because there's always a chance that you can still win. Sure. So yeah. I'll never pick an under. I'll go with the Patriots in the over here.
Yeah. So let's rehash on it. I like the Patriots. Wall likes the Patriots. B's got Seattle, like Nashville tomorrow over Colorado. Later 170 to win 100. That was 200. Still late at 2. 2.5 could be 3.5. I doubt it unless this line goes up to 6. I don't know. You never know with the hockey. I like Arizona's and the Flyers to go over that 5.5 goal total. Could be 6-7 goals in this game. I just coming back from the All-Star game. These two teams, we didn't fill that All-Star roster so much. It's gonna be sloppy defense. I don't like hockey players where they come back off of a layoff. Went off like a week, go off like 4 days, 4 or 5 days, I think it was.
Yeah, close to that. Not a week, but it's 4.
Those are our picks. Like I say, too many plays lose too many ways, and you're paying your bookie. It
ain't our fault, baby.
It ain't our fault lately. And then we're brought to you by Boogaloo Vape Shop, 943 McDade Boulevard in Collinsdale, PA. Give them a call, 610-915-3035. Safe alternative way of getting your smoke on without actually smoking. Ask for my girl Beth down there. She'll take good care of you. Tell the sports Goombahs sent you. All right. We were going to we decided that we were going to pick our since it's Super Bowl week, we're going to get to me what I call the best 3 plays I've seen in my Super Bowl career as far as watching the Super Bowl, dating back to the first one I watched when I was 9 years old, Dallas and Baltimore Super Bowl at that end. The criteria I went with was the play itself. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's whether it was a moment which we might do it as a little different, a Super Bowl moment, a Super Bowl play.
Yeah, I wait. If we were doing plays versus moments, I got moments that have nothing to do with football.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, we're gonna definitely we'll go top 3 plays.
Yeah.
For your viewing Super Bowl history.
Let's see. We haven't talked about this. Let's see if we can match it up a little bit, and we'll go with there. My number 3 one, the number 3 play would have to be Marcus Allen's run, the Oakland Raiders Redskins Super Bowl, where he was trapped in the backfield and I think he broke it for 80 some odd yards. Still, I think it's the longest run from scrimmage in NFL Super Bowl history. Amazing play. It didn't win the game, but it was one of the plays. It was a sealer, that's for sure. And that game was a blowout anyway. It didn't really matter. So that's my number 3 of my top 3.
My number 3 would be the John Elway Super Bowl winning dive. The helicopter. The helicopter.
That was 5.
I was
in my top 10.
Yeah, I was a youngster then, but I remember watching. I was like, that's a movie star ending right there. That was good.
Is that he left after that, right?
That was his last one.
That was his last one. He won the one before that. He came
that was the Green Bay, I believe.
Yeah. That's right. That's the start of the Packers, which was the last team to go to the Super Bowl and come back next year and actually win it.
I thought that was perfect. Yeah. And for a guy, I mean, it's one thing if Russell Wilson did that. You don't expect Elway. He was 38, so I don't know what he was, but he was
putting it all out there.
He was up there, and he said,
"You know what? I respect that."
Yeah, you do. Yeah, I mean, nowadays that would be like Tom Brady. He's around that same age.
Yep.
Brady might be a little more mobile than Elway. I don't know.
But you see, but the point is, you always saw them slide. They were smart, and then it's your
even though like throughout the career, I know Elway was more mobile, but I just feel like he did. Thinking back to that play,
a way of running that looked like he was. He had that sway back kind of arch back. With
he had
that cowboy. Like he was a bull rider.
Yeah.
So when he ran, he chugged.
It made him look like he was slower. It made him look like he wasn't as comfortable running.
The same way if you go back to Steve Young, same way. Steve Young was real mobile quarterback and could run, but when he ran, he just looked like white man's disease. He just ran weird, like he was had his arms were flapping in the air and stuff like that. But I agree with that play. That was on one of my top 10s. It's tough. It's a tough list.
No, you got to realize I have a much smaller sample size to choose from. You said you dated back to the 70s for years.
Well, I
date back since the mid 90s.
You know what brought this on? I was, as I love every year, and this year got a little better. I used to love John Vicenda when he used to do the NFL films. He's before your time, I think. He might be dead 25 years, Vicenda. I'm not even sure. But he had a way and a voice. He was a Philadelphia news anchor, a sports guy and a news anchor. And he did these NFL films. And every year they run down the Super Bowls and they run down the highlights. Now they've gotten technologies. They've been able to draw out tapes that you didn't hear before, or they got microphones and they enhance them so you can hear a lot more talking now. And with technology, they have interviews and stuff like that. So it makes it more interesting instead of just watching the same clip. So that's what turned me on to this. As I was watching these all week long, as they built up. It's 50 Super Bowls already. It's a lot of. It's not like there's 25 and they can do it in 2 days. What's your play, B?
I would say 3 is seeing that massive human being, the fridge, run in for a touchdown. I think that just because I think it was it was so much. You knew about all the turmoil on the team. You knew that Buddy Ryan hated Ditka, everything that was happening, and that was just like a smack in the face to Buddy Ryan because you ain't gonna use this big guy. I'm gonna use him. I'm gonna punch him in for a touchdown.
It'd be like Vince Wilfork running it in, Sunday. It would be a sight to see. Big man,
a big drink of water. Yeah. So I just remember that.
That's a cool play.
Yeah, that's what was that? That was Super Bowl. That was who they played at Bears in that one.
Can't even remember.
Before my time.
Patriots. There's no one. Yep,
yeah,
that was the Bledsoe Super Bowl, wasn't it?
That could not have possibly been Bledsoe.
Who's the quarterback for the Patriots back?
That was in the 80s.
Oh yeah, how am I thinking of the 80s? Yeah, geez, Bledsoe. That was
oh my God, who was that?
Craig?
No,
did you play for them?
Get on the beat. There.
All right.
My number 2 one was Santonio Holmes. In that Steelers, that catch he made, which won the game. And that was unbelievable. Won the game, lost some dough. One of those type ones you don't forget about. And to me, that catch, the concentration, the feet in, everything that went in with that was a great football play. And that was, that would be my number 2. There's not much to it.
It was a great play.
That's my number 1.
And what's great about that is the pass, which gets tossed away a little bit because of, it's always about who catches the ball. But Roethlisberger put that thing in there. I mean, Perfect. There's no other spot he could have put that ball. Him to catch that all go down in the sequence that it did, and that was the Super Bowl right there.
Got it.
That's it.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
I know. I know. It's on the tip of my tongue. He was an old timer that made a comeback that year.
Eason.
What year was it?
That was 85 Bears.
Okay, Eason,
yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
And Steve Grogan too was a bad.
That's why they got blown out 45-7.
But no, with that was I remember watching that. I was at my sister's bar. That I remember watching that. I was the reason I have it on my list was only because I didn't want the the Steelers to win.
Right.
So I was like, no, I don't. I'm not accepting this.
See, that's my father-in-law was living with us at the time, and he grew up in Pittsburgh. So I don't know. I was finding myself finding a lot of Steelers moments that I kind of got attached to, and I was like, oh my God, am I a closet Steelers fan?
I found out last week I was a Patriots fan.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You're a Steelers fan now.
So I'm looking at it going, oh my gosh, what he just dished up is number 2 is actually my number 1. So I mean, that it's just a great memory too, because we were sitting there going, and he just said, that's it, it's over, I ain't gonna get nothing here. And then all of a sudden, boom, right downfield, boom. I think there was 31 seconds left, if that, on the clock.
The time. It was late. Yeah,
it was
like a game clincher. It was over.
It was just awesome. It was a great memory.
My number 2 was actually I'm hoping it was the first and only time that I ever cried at an outcome. I was a kid, so don't yell at me. But it's the Mike Jones tackle, St. Louis Rams, Tennessee Titans at the 1 yard line with the stretch by Dyson. I don't know why I found myself really rooting for the Titans. I have no idea why. And it was just that amazing drive at the end, and I thought they got it. And Mike Jones that's a tackle that if it happened, you just maybe nowadays it doesn't happen because people are so poor at open field tackling. But that was your whole season, your whole career on the line in one play. You're a linebacker, you have to tackle a receiver, and he did it.
What's amazing about that game in itself is that the Rams had that football game the first 3 quarters of it, and it was the year of the greatest show on turf. And of course, it was a Philadelphia connection with Vermeil being there. Everybody here wanted Vermeil to win this thing, and ironically, he would end his career after that, and then we'd end up playing him the next year for the championship.
Mm-hmm.
But what was I getting to? What was my point there? Oh man, it's short-term memory. I gotta get another pill. Anyway, for defensive play, I mean that was a great football game, and the Rams if they had any more time on that clock, the Rams were going to lose that football game. Yeah, that was the kind of game
that was down to the 1. I mean, that was it.
But the change in momentum in that 4th quarter was unbelievable. What they did, and that's one of the better Super Bowls that were out there.
It was a very good game.
Yeah. My number 1 play is
you guys number 2?
Skip over me because my number 2, my number 1 was his one. It was his number 2. So
what's your number 2 though?
My number 2 is I get Harrison's Super Bowl interception, 100-yard run back. I mean, that's just again, I had a vested interest in the game. Like my father-in-law
right at halftime.
100 yard.
I thought it was a fumble. I was an interception, but I knew the same game.
Interception,
the same game. All right, I do remember that one. I was actually going to mention that.
Your criteria is a little different. I'm talking about great plays.
Yeah, I thought that was a great. What's 100-yard touchdown interception?
That really swung the game a lot because he said it was Arizona going to score with 0 time on the clock. No, not only did you not score, the Steelers just scored 100 yards.
Yeah,
they went 100 yards the opposite way with all zeros on the clock. That was big, but it's a big play. Even if it's I don't know.
My top 3 here, it was like a mix and match of them. I actually have 4 people in my top 3 because my top 1 is going to be a tie because I'm going back a long time. I'm going back to the Pittsburgh Steelers Dallas Cowboys. I think it was a 1978 Lynn Swan catch where he goes flying through the air, gets the ball, tips up, and concentrates, comes down with it, and tying that with the David Tyree catch.
Yeah.
But the difference by the Tyree catch is this. I don't think Tyree knew he caught it. That's what I'm thinking. I think he was just scrambling, holding his head because he didn't want his head. I think he was protecting his head from ricocheting onto the ground, and the ball so happened to be up there. If you go back and watch the Swan catch, it's artwork. I mean, the music, the whole thing, just watching him make that play and watching his eyes concentrate on the ball, and it was a huge play in the game too. Not that Tyrese wasn't, but it was,
Tyrese was bigger.
Yeah, bigger. Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm saying not that Tyrese wasn't, but but my plays all had, were great plays that meant something on the field at that time. For the most part.
And that's what I went with as well. Yeah. I mean, I think all three of mine were literally the last minute of the game because my number one also is the same exact. It's a helmet catch.
Yeah, a great play is at an odd time of the game is it gets lost, but when it means something at that point, like I know the Harris interception was big, but it didn't mean the change of the game at that time. It was it was a good play.
Well, in hindsight, it did.
Yeah, I understand
theoretically.
that.
I know, but at the time it happened.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I guess I wasn't quite clear on the criteria of this anyway, but it's a good one because the plays we're all talking about are great plays in anybody's book. And if we went down a top 10 right now, we could be here all night describing that. Because when I did this list, I was into the 20s. And like, whoa.
It was hard. It was hard.
I'd cut a few out, but like I said, with my number one's also the same play. It's not even just so much the catch. It was how Manning escaped that. Yeah. When he's normally such a bumbling idiot.
I was just getting to that. I was going to get the Tyree catch was, and that gets lost because it gets lost
because he was in full grasp of a defensive end. It was
you lost him in the camera. You know he was down. You look at that play, and Manning doesn't get enough credit. Now, it's funny people talk about Manning now, and B's always been a fan of his for the most part. These Giants teams. But I look at it and I watch these two Super Bowls again this past weekend when we did this Super Bowl countdown. And some of the plays that Manning made in both those Super Bowls.
The sideline pass he made was perfect.
I mean, and they might put him down for his sad look or when he's loafing around, he's not having a great game or whatever. But the bottom line is this guy's made some incredible plays in his career to this point already. And, we know we don't call him an elite Manning. He's not elite because he physically hasn't shown us to be a quarterback that's elite. He doesn't have those, he doesn't have his brother's attributes, that's for sure. His skill sets are different. He seems to come through when he has to. And if you want to call that a skill set, you can very well. I mean,
damn right, because his brother didn't.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what we're looking at now. I mean, you look at the two of them, and Manning is far better quarterback when it comes to the physical structure and the way the game's played as a quarterback. But this is sports, and you're tried and convicted on the way you win or lose your games, man. And that's the bottom line here. I mean, Brett Favre wasn't a superstar. He was a good quarterback. I don't think he was. Yeah, he was.
You know what? I know where you're going with that. You look at Favre, and I see Eli in that same category of he might not be like a Brady or a Peyton, who is. You look at them, and they are like the stereotypical. That's what I want my quarterback to look like. He's physically. He's got great mechanics, all this. You look at Eli and you look at Brett Favre, and I see they're probably one of the best improvisers, I should say. Improvising is a better word for that.
And they both love to throw it up. when the trouble comes. It's interesting if you look back quarterbacks in a game like football where it's a team sport, and that's what makes Brady's, regardless of the bullshit, and the deflation or whatever you want to call it, or spy game, whatever. He's done all this in 14 years with the least amount of talent around him as far as weapons are concerned. He was able to do it. You kind of think if he would have had himself a Jerry Rice throughout his career like Montana had and Young had, if he would have had, like Aikman had, he had his same wide receivers for 10 years, okay? And you get a report back and forth. It's why, Welker and who's the other guy? Welker and who's the other little guy? Manning's guy.
Amendola?
Welker?
Not Welker.
Amendola?
No. It begins with not Amendola. Amendola is who's the guy?
Sanders?
No, the guy that used to catch Manning's. We had Wes Welker was him.
Branch.
No, give it a C. I forget what it is. A little white guy, wide receiver for. I'll come up with it. I'll think about it. What I'm saying is, there hasn't been these quarterbacks, and Manning had his quarterback. He had the same wide receivers throughout the years, but Brady didn't have a 5-year, 10-year.
Brady had no stability around him.
Nothing. He had nobody.
He had a new running back every year. He had a new receiver every year.
And regardless of what people say, that's what makes him so great at this point. Even Montana, as I put Montana on Montana had the same crew. He had the same go-to guys. I mean, his tight end changed, but his tight end changed after 5 years. Where Brady's every year there's a new set of wide receivers on this guy, and he makes them what they are. And you got to give him credit where he's throwing a flat ball, a frisbee, a baseball, or a hand grenade. He's still getting it to him, no matter what it is. And that has to be put in a category of itself because I don't think, as I sit here, another quarterback that I can remember or know about that had these kind of numbers and this kind of winning percentage and this many appearances in Super Bowls with so many different players. Same coach. That's the only constant he has had. He's only had one coach, but the coach doesn't play. So if you look at that, you gotta put Brady on a different category. You really do. Just think if he had his wide receiver for 10 years.
I'm thinking. Let's
go to him. Let's right and left, like most quarterbacks do.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, Manning had Harrison and Wayne for.
Yeah, and look at them.
For how long?
And both of them could be in the Hall of Fame.
They will be.
Wayne
Both
will be there because his longevity is going to get him there. And yeah, absolutely. You look at that, and you look at Troy Aikman. And I use Troy Aikman because he has 3 Super Bowls, and he had wide receivers. He had Alvin Harper and Irvin, and guys thrown in between.
And look at half those plays too. They're out of how many times was he hitting? What do you call it? Emmitt Smith out of the backfield too. I mean, he had great backs that had great hands too, though.
Yeah, well, Brady's had some backs in there, but the only back he had was what's his name there.
For the record,
he had Kevin Falk for what?
He had him wait for way too long.
Yeah.
But I mean, quickly, I was thinking about. I hope you weren't trying to say Manning had Austin Collie as your white receiver with the C.
No.
Like I said, that guy was awful. He was.
And Welker switched teams with him too. They flip flop. He got injured. We know who we have. Wes Welker and boom. Give me put the lineup for the 2010 Colts there. I see who I'm talking about. But if you think about it, you sit here right now. Can you think of another quarterback who has not had is a Hall of Fame star quarterback, in the elite category, who has not had a consistent wide receiver with him for a 10-year career? In
a way, you could say Favre. I mean, Favre had Antonio Freeman and he had Robert Brooks and he had Donald Driver. He had guys. I mean, they were none of them were stars at all.
Well, he had what's his name?
You said Colts. You mean Patriots, right?
He paid for both. He had his brother is the NBC announcer.
Sharp.
He had Shannon Sharp. He had the other Sharp.
It's Sterling, but I don't know how long he had him.
Sterling was 5 years, but he was a Super Bowl. He was there. He was. Sterling was a good player too. He got injured. He got back problems. But yeah, I mean, you could see
he never had like a set group of stars.
Right.
He had guys that were there for a while, but they were just regular guys.
Listen, I don't put Favre in there with I don't care what people say. I know he's got 3 MVPs in a year of quarterbacking where the quarterbacks were light anyway. But I don't put him in the category of Brady. I just don't think he's even.
I think Brady separated himself.
Yeah.
But getting back to just the Mannings, Eli and Peyton, who would you right now and when they're both done, who would you say had a better career between the two of them? Because you got to figure Peyton's pretty much done, so he's not going to get more than one ring. Yeah. Eli, even though it's unlikely the Giants will win another one, they theoretically, exactly. He's already got more than Peyton, and he could still technically end up with another. Yeah.
It's after this year, because I thought if Peyton come back with Denver and put it together and get Denver back in the Super Bowl again for his 4th appearance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would look highly because at that point he'd at least have more appearances than Eli.
It seems to me when you start talking about quarterbacks in their careers, the appearances are making a difference now.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been there. You've been there 5 times. You lost 5 times. You've still been there 5 times. I mean, you can't take that away from Jim Kelly. He's been to 4 straight Super Bowls. You got to be that good to get there. You know what I mean? You can't be a mediocre quarterback to get 4 straight years to the Super Bowl. I'm trying to get his wide receivers. He had the same crew there too as well. I mean, I'm really trying to pick out a quarterback right now that had a great quarterback that had different wide receivers throughout his career. And it's I don't put Steve Young in that category. He was only a 2-year wonder actually in the NFL. It's hard. You can't do it.
A lot of guys will go through different eras of players. Like if you're there for a long time, because you can last longer as a quarterback than a receiver.
Right.
Like Ben Roethlisberger in the beginning had Hines Ward and Plaxico.
Right.
Peyton Manning now. He's gone through Mike Wallace. He's gone through Emmanuel Sanders. He's got the Antonio Brown.
Roethlisberger is, and I think he's a great quarterback. You don't get enough credit for what he's been through in this league. He got a little painted because he got into trouble there. But as a tough quarterback and a team that gets to the Super Bowl, how many did he been to? He's been to 3, right?
4, I think. Right?
No, I think it's been 3. He won.
He won 2.
He lost to Green Bay, and then he beat Seattle and Arizona.
Yeah.
I don't think he went there again.
Yeah. So he's
I could be wrong.
he
I'm
beat Seattle.
not a historian.
Yeah.
No, he beat Seattle.
You said 2010 Colts.
Yeah.
Okay, you got what do you call it? Price and Taj Smith.
Who?
Exactly. I don't know who the hell you're
Taj
talking
Smith.
about.
Yeah. Well, it's got nothing to do with hell, but there's a player out there. I'll get him. Check the Patriots in the 2000.
I did.
Patriots.
It was nobody there too.
I even forgot about Santonio Holmes when it came to Steelers receivers. So I mean, Roethlisberger's actually had. If you look at the list of guys he's had a great list of receivers. Obviously, I'm not saying he was only great because he had great receivers, but he's had a lot of different. He cycled through a lot of good players.
Well, he had a lot of guys there for 3+ years or during his runs.
Mm-hmm.
When he did his run,
he's got Brandon Stokely. That's who.
That begins with a C.
Brandon Stokely, and I like to thank old Jimmy for that. Joey, actually.
Oh, Joey?
Yeah,
good call, Joey.
Joey came up with that. He said Anthony Gonzalez or Brandon Stokely's the one. That was it.
Stokely.
Yeah,
Stokely, he didn't play in New England.
He didn't play in New England?
No, he went from like Indy to, I think he went to
I thought he did
Denver
I thought he did a stint in New England.
I think he just followed Manning around.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I'm not a historian on Stokely.
Can't see why not. So anyway, that's our plays that we think are the top ones, and I don't know if you go talk for moments. We can do moments next week if you want to, if you're into it.
Hopefully we have some good ones this weekend to add to the list.
Yeah, thinking let's do a halftime show here. Maybe we will show up here for halftime of the Super Bowl, huh?
I can't make it. I have prior engagements.
Oh, you got invites, huh?
Nah, my girlfriend wants to.
You didn't get invited to my Super Bowl.
No, my girlfriend wants to have a thing.
Have a thing.
Yeah.
Got food?
I mean, not yet.
Cash ain't doing nothing, man.
All right, come on by.
Yeah, getting by the youngins. When we hang with the youngins, man.
That's if we have it.
I like hanging out with guys that I could be father to. Let's go to the phones.
Right on cue.
Sports Goombahs. Welcome to the show.
Hey, it's Joey.
Joey, what's up?
It's Brandon Stokely.
Yeah, we got your text.
We just read it off. Did you hear us? We gave you all. You got all the credit and everything.
The computer's must be a few seconds behind.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you get a little delay because people curse. You got to cut them off because this is internet radio.
That begins with a C, right? I'm sitting there looking for all these C. Like, oh.
Yeah, that was back in 06 or 07. Now the only reason I know that is because I earned in fantasy. I earned every Colts wide receiver possible that year.
Right. Because you knew who I was talking about. So he didn't do it. He didn't do a stat with New England then.
I don't believe so. I think he came from Baltimore. Or went to Baltimore.
I was like, oh, Hank Baskett's here, but I don't know who the hell he's talking about.
Hank Baskett.
He was on the Colts.
Small white guy, though. But I wanted to bring up a couple things here. You talked about Seattle and the Patriots, the Super Bowl. You're talking about all that. I personally, I'm going Patriots also. I don't want to see it happen. It's bad because of the whole, Spygate and Deflategate and the whole nine.
And? Hello? Did you hang up on him?
No, he's still there. Oh, did I lose him?
I see you pushing buttons. That's all I say.
Yep, he's gone.
Well, anyway, Stokely never did play for New England. He played for Baltimore, Indy, Denver, Seattle, New York Giants, Denver, and Baltimore again.
We'll call him back. That's the great thing about our show. You get cut off, we call you back. He's probably still hanging on the line.
Hello.
Hey, Joe, it's Mike.
Hey, it's Mike. It's Sports Goodbye. Welcome to the show. Don't say anything dirty.
Hey guys. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my phone or whatever.
Yeah, it's your phone. Don't blame us.
I'm listening to the show and it's way behind. I don't know what's going on. But I was supposed to hear picks earlier, and I'm going with Patriots for you guys also.
Right.
Well, with Mike and Cashy.
Right.
I don't think Seahawks got it. Am I losing again?
No, we're good.
No,
we're all good.
Speak your mind.
I keep moving. I don't want the Patriots to win because of the whole Spygate thing. I heard you saying about the whole, it's everything's on a level playing field now. Back in, in the early 2000s, that wasn't acceptable. Cheating. You didn't have all these smartphones taking pictures and all that extra accessibility. They were going out of their way and cheating.
Right.
They deflated the balls. They went out of their way and cheated again. And nothing's going to be done with it. Just like, in baseball, like Mike said, it happens. It happens in every sport. You get caught and it gets dealt with 10 years from now. Like steroids are getting dealt with now instead of 15 years ago, like when it should have been dealt with.
Mm-hmm. Tell me you're not loving the fact, though, that Sherman basically can say anything he wants about Kraft.
He's got to get a fine for that, right?
How can you? How can you fine him? Because fining him is admitting that you were. It's great. I like it. I want him to call him out more. I want him to.
I want him to too. I have no problem. Obviously, I want it. It's entertaining, but it's like I didn't know you could talk. I mean, he's kind of in a way. Talking crap about the
smack, yeah.
The commissioner and another team's owner. I didn't know you could do that.
What? He basically sat there and basically said the fix was in, without saying the fix was in. When you're, it's conflict of interest. Is that what he said there, Jared? Joe?
I think there's a lot of conflict of interest in general with sports. I mean, Goodell needs to be fired. The Patriots something needs to happen to the Patriots for them not to do it again because Belichick thinks he's bigger than the game. And until he decides that he's not bigger than the game, it's not going to change. The Patriots are always going to know as cheaters. In my mind, they can win 10 more Super Bowls. To me, they'll always be tainted.
Are you with that crowd to put an asterisk next to it if they win?
Well, that's the same thing like Barry Bonds. And to me, yes, he won has the home run record, but he cheated to get it. So is he really that good? No. There's an asterisk next to that home run record in my book. Every Super Bowl they've won, what have they done since they cheated? Nothing. They haven't
potentially won a Super Bowl now.
Well, and then they're here now. If they win again, it's because they cheated.
Joe,
they don't cheat. They can't win.
Wait a minute. They've been to 2 Super Bowls since they didn't win one. And if you're going to call it David Tyree, the changer, that had nothing to do with it. I mean, an inch here, an inch there. I understand that, but when you talk about winning, at least they got there. There's a difference between.
Don't get me wrong. I agree they got there, but they haven't won.
But how do we know
they won? They got caught cheating.
How do we know they weren't deflating balls during those whole seasons as well?
Yeah, but we don't. We don't
exactly.
know
So they may have been cheating and still lost.
Yeah,
is my point.
So then the cheating's not that good. Then if you're cheating and losing, you got to do a better way of cheating. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand how this they get away with that kind of stuff and.
You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. After the Super Bowl's done, fines will be levied. This or whatever, the ball boy will be hung out to dry.
Right.
He'll lose his job, his minimum wage job of hanging on to Brady's balls and shit. And then after that, the Patriots will get a huge fine. Belichick probably, maybe Brady too, but that's it. There'll be no penalties. There'll be no suspensions.
They'll lose a draft pick too because they lost a draft pick in the Spygate. So they'll lose another draft pick, and Belichick will get fined again. You know what happens? Belichick will say, "Oh well, I'm bigger than the game. We're better than everybody because I can take talent out of the 4th and 5th round and I can make them play better. So I don't care about my first round."
All right, but
that's the reality. Until Belichick slaps down the reality, it's going to keep happening over and over and over.
But if you suspend them for what, 3 games? Is that
for a whole season? You suspended Sean Payton for cheating for a whole season. Why not suspend Belichick for a whole season and see what happens?
Payton wasn't cheating; he was trying to hurt people.
There's a difference between cheating and
he was rewarding you for hurting people.
Yeah, there was. That's a crime.
But here's a theory I want to throw out there. Well, who's to say Belichick won't just pull a Pete Carroll at USC? And to say, I'm going to cheat as much as I can. If you want to start finding, or taking things away from me, I'll just retire. He's 62 years old. Yeah. He doesn't need this anymore. He's already the best coach of all time. Yep. So he could. What if in his theory he goes, I'm going to cheat. As soon as you want to throw the book at me, I'm out of here.
And that's the case too. Is like that's Pete Carroll. He's known to be cheating his whole career
he cheated at USC.
College, and then he comes here, he cheats again. He's shooting his team up with
Adderall,
all sorts of fake steroids.
He's not shooting them up.
HGHs Adderall, you name it.
He knows what's going on.
Hitting them with
Yeah,
it.
he doesn't care.
Yeah. It's the NFL.
The players coach.
Once again, let me go back. Like I said in the start of this show, this is all about money.
Press.
It's
money.
It's all about.
Yeah, but press brings money.
The money.
Yeah.
The money that's generated through the New England Patriots, through every other team, the bad boy Raiders of the 70s who generated a ton of cash killing people, okay? Shooting dope and beating people up, and if you were bad, you went to the Raiders, like the prison of the NFL. Nobody said anything about that back then. And the cheating that was done back in them days, you go ask Dick Buckus what kind of cheating was done in football. I mean, the art of the game is what it is. Blatant cheating, I don't, doping somebody up so they passed out, running down the first base, that's cheating. When you do these when you steal signs in baseball, or you scuff a ball, or you dive for a ball, you cover it up because it hit the ground, but you don't want the umpire to see, is that cheating? Is that cheating because you're not honest?
Well, scuffing a ball, yes, that is cheating.
You scuff a ball in baseball.
That is cheating.
The umpires check the balls in between every inning. Every other pitcher gets to touch the ball. I mean, that's
the same ball.
Who was the idiot with the pine tar in his arm or something like that?
All the time.
Let me ask you a question. If a guy's in the outfield, I'm just giving a hypothetical here. He catches the ball and he hits the ground and squirts out. He pulls it back in so they can't see that it came out.
No, it's not cheating. No, not at all.
Okay, what is that called?
That's just called. That's like saying a guy who didn't score a touchdown who tries to reach extra the play.
Okay.
That's just trying to get what you can.
I'm throwing out. You dropped the ball.
But you're not breaking any rules doing that.
But you're not confessing that you dropped the ball.
Unless they ask you.
No, even if they ask you, you're not going to do anything.
No, I think I caught it. But
you're not breaking a rule doing that. It's not cheating.
The only thing that's going to come out of this thing is rule changes. Okay, they're going to be able to. They're going to have weighing the ball constantly. They're going to have, somehow some kind of device is going to be available to the referees to make sure the ball.
Have a scale right in the sideline.
They're not going to let this happen again, and that's what they did. Spygate, they didn't let it happen again. They gave the entire stadium cameras. But here's the difference. Here is going to be it's going to be controlled. Once again, the NFL is going to control everything. They'll control everything through computers and video and cash machines.
But shouldn't they though? They should though.
Sure, I guess not. If it's available to you, you might as well make the game. It's going to be Madden football soon. It's already Madden.
Yeah, but
Madden's better than the NFL.
Yeah, but why do they have no problem suspending coaches for bounty hunting? But they have no problems, which in essence is cheating. But they won't have a problem turning around suspending Belichick, who gets caught cheating not once but twice on the grandest stage of them all.
Joe,
the Super Bowl.
WrestleMania?
This guy cheated all season. Now he's getting caught cheating twice, going towards the grandest stage of them all.
Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you why. Because one, and I'm going to go right back towards Ray Rice too, when we talked about before. You're talking about physically hurting somebody. You're talking about assault. You're talking about taking somebody's career, breaking a leg. It's a different category. It's a different category of cheating. Okay, when a pitcher throws a ball at a batter's head on purpose, he's tossed out of the game. If he doesn't throw it on purpose and he hits him, he's not tossed out. There's a difference in what you call what you're trying to do.
What you're trying to get.
Your intent is to hurt somebody. It's a different category. Okay, the Patriots, whatever they did or didn't do, their intent wasn't to hurt somebody, physically maim somebody, take somebody out of the game. That's the difference between your bounty gate, bounty ball, whatever that you get suspended for. You got a coach telling your players go out and hurt somebody, break their legs, okay, and we're going to reward you. That's different than saying, oh, my God, these guys, I did deflate the ball a little bit so he can handle it a little better. It's the category.
When you're trying to get a competitive edge, you may be breaking the rules, but that's not warrant of a season-long suspension. Like you said, trying to hurt somebody. If you want to relate it to baseball, it's just like when they hit somebody, did you try to hit them? No. Okay, yeah, it's fine. But when
prove it.
The pitcher there's pitchers who say, yeah, I did. I tried to on purpose. They're the ones who get suspended for 10 games. Right. It's when you go out of your way to try to hurt somebody is when it's going to happen. If you scuff a ball in baseball, you'll get suspended just for cheating a game or two. But if you say I purposely spiked him at second base with my cleats up to hurt him, you're out for 20 games.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And the only sport you can get away with that shit is
hockey.
It's unbelievable. Is that you can go into a hockey game and beat the crap out of somebody.
Hockey players are on drugs. They have to be on drugs.
They're not on drugs.
They're not.
They're built that way.
If they're not on drugs,
they're not on drugs. They're European.
Listen, Joe, I watched a I watched a hockey game the other day, a Flyers game. I think I text you.
The Penguins game.
The Penguins game.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Here's the thing. I forget who I told you about. He was pounding away. Voracek, I think it was. It was Voracek. Yeah. He was pounding away on the other player. I can't remember who it was. Mask.
No, Voracek had the mask. The other guy did.
The other guy did. Right. Yeah. And the other guy's pounding away on Voracek's face, just pounding his shield. And I'm thinking to myself, you got to be half nuts in your head to sit there and pound. At what punch did you decide that, well, maybe I should keep punching this piece of plastic? I'm going to hurt myself. And it goes back to your saying that hockey players are mental cases. Okay, it has nothing to do with drugs. It's a breed.
They're a different breed.
It's not. Yeah, it's like I don't know what they are. I mean,
it's hockey players and it's rugby guys.
Yeah,
they're just out there.
The only player I can say come close to in another sport would have been the 49ers defensive back who cut his finger.
Ronnie Lott
cut his finger off to keep staying in the game. That's the only comparison of outside of hockey I can compare any other sport, any other player in any other sport to do something like that would be like a hockey player. I mean, these guys are taking 30, 40 stitches at halftime at the end of the first period and coming back and playing. You know what I mean?
Well, hockey players are nuts. That's why.
Yeah,
there's something not mentally there with hockey players.
Yeah, it's called cold.
It's just like boxers.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to get pounded in the face for a living, there's nothing right in their brain.
Yeah.
That paycheck, there's something right with it.
Yeah, that's another thing you're forgetting, buddy.
Give me that Mayweather money. You can beat the hell out of me with a baseball bat. I don't care.
Hey, Mayweather doesn't like to fight. That's why he's ducking. He's staying out of the fight.
Mayweather doesn't know nothing because he's just been beat since day one of his life.
Yeah.
His brain's not there.
Yeah.
At all.
Boxing's not there. Hey, Joe, I appreciate the call, man. Thanks for calling in, and thanks for the heads up on Brendan Stokely. You get his shirts?
I know I have. No, I should have given. I actually saw him about an hour before the show.
Joe, just so you know, I had your shirts signed, sealed, and delivered to you, and your buddy here is holding up your delivery. So the Goombahs are on time. Might get a wall.
I literally just saw him too.
He's got a problem. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
All right, Steve.
Checking in with us. Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break before we end the show. We've got about 30 minutes left of the Sports Goombahs before we have to head out into the tundra. Cashy King, Chef to Left, Mikey Wall. We'll be right back.
Hi, Cashy King from the Sports Goombahs. Listen, shop 344tees.com for your favorite men's, women's, and kids apparel. T-shirts, hoodies, sweats, and more. With every name brand available. My man Larry Gilman will take care of all your printing and embroidery needs. Whether it's for business, sports, organizations, or maybe you're just opening up a pizzeria. 344tees.com will get it done. Call now, 844-542-2774. That's 844-542-2774. Their customer apparel marketing team are available not just to only give you the product you need, but give you the support and custom service that best matches your goal and budgets. Call 844-542-2774. That's 344tees.com.
BZI Group Inc. for your individual and small group health insurance needs. BZI offers free instant online insurance quotes and applications from major health insurance carriers. The BZI Group is dedicated to a no-nonsense approach to health insurance. They focus on giving you the insurance you need in a timely and cooperative manner. Whether you're looking for individual and family, group, seniors, life, or long-term coverage, BZI can help. For additional information or to speak with an insurance expert, call 1-800-431-4834 or email them at www.bzigroup.com.
Stop paying your bookie each week and start collecting. They have the best handicappers in the world, all in one place. And their only job is to win you money. Check Jeff Brandy's and all the experts at trendbetting.com. Trend betting theory is simple. Trends dominate in sports, and you will win in the long run by following the dominant trend. You will lose in the long run if you buck the dominant trend. Simple enough. That's trendbetting.com.
When you need a good roof over your head, call Seal Roofing. They've been keeping folks warm and dry for many years now and are proud of their work. Seal Roofing and Contracting does it all, whether you need simple repairs before the next big rainy season or a whole new roof. Maybe you need new siding or windows. You can be certain that when you hire Seal Roofing, you're hiring the best. Available 7 days a week with 24-hour emergency service and free estimates. Call 215-533-4066. That's 215-533-4066 or visit sealroofing.net.
Has your home or business been damaged by a recent storm and you're left to deal with the insurance company to make things right? Turn to Apple Public Adjusters and meet owners Patrick O'Donnell and Mark Stendardo. If you've suffered recent storm damage to your home or business, call 267-538-3373. That's 267-538-3373 and protect your rights and maximize your benefits.
Song. Rocking and rolling. The 515 Studios here in Benson. Yeah. That's it. Snow. Let's count. How many inches we have out there? I got to report here on Facebook that it's only 1 to 2 inches.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to get the initial reports of 7 feet are now shrunk down to 1.5 inches.
It's supposed to be 2 to 15, depending on where you are.
It's a little tough job those meteorologists have.
Wouldn't you just love that?
Yeah.
I would just love that. It's like it would be like Cassie going, all right, the plays this week could be over or could be under.
Could be the Colts by 2. It couldn't be. I don't know.
It might be the Jets by 5. You know,
either way, you get paid the same.
Yeah, I don't care because I'm getting my money.
Yeah, get paid, man. All right, so. A couple shouts out there to our girl Kate, who's expecting her. Kate was on our show when we first came to
the 515.
The 515 Studios. Kate was there in the studio with us. She was our female. What do you want to call it? Liaison.
Couldn't get her a name, but she got a name for the baby now, though.
Corbin's going to be. Hopefully, we think Corbin's going to be born on Super Bowl Sunday. That's what it's looking like here. So
nice.
Congratulations to Kate ahead of time, which sounded like an idea. But anyway, in general, I just want to say hello to her, and then I told her I'd give her a shout, and then to let us know when the baby come out. Probably halftime. We're doing the national anthem.
Is there over under on the weight there?
Yeah, my grandson.
Is there a prop? Is there a prop bet for that?
In the weight? I don't know. I have to get. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We get a prop bet. I think the weight she's carrying right now. She looks like she's got I don't know.
It's like a 3-pound baby.
I don't know.
I got a bigger belly than her.
She looks good though, man. Her body's still there, but it's a big bump out in front,
Yeah, like me.
I say it's a 10-pound kid.
Jeez, wow, that's a big
under.
What are you under? Oh my God, I'll take the under there. Give me I want $5,000 on the under.
You ask me, babies? What do I know about babies?
7 pounds. 4
You had one.
I had one, yeah.
7 pounds, 4 ounces.
Years ago. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. I think 8 pounds, 2 ounces. Remember who the father is. Justin, he's what? He's 7'9".
Yeah, he's a big drink. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he's a big dude, man. You know, she's 4 foot nothing. He's 7'9". I didn't know how they conceived. You know what I'm All right, so my girl Kate, she'll be back with us. As soon as she has a kid, she'll go back in the studio. She'll come in there and continue her sports Goombahette. She's in charge of the Goombahs. I said, you got to get back in. You got to get the Goombahs together. You know?
Hey, if you want to get on the show, you got to email Cashy.
Yeah, that's
if you want
right.
your Goombah picks, we're going to be picking out a Goombah at the end of the month here?
Yeah, the next week we'll probably we got to get into that later. We have to have them come first, B, before we can pick them out.
Well, I assumed you had amassed a small
I got an
album of photos there.
It's wintertime. You can't mask anything. You know? That's what.
Can't amass snow outside.
Yeah. So, yeah, Rue, I'm disappointed. I want to go out of the studio and find like a foot out there. Don't tell me I got like 3 or 4 inches.
I was trying to get off work.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I'll be so pissed off those weather guys. They're bad handicappers. That's all they are. Weather guys are bad. Guys who could handicap sports become weathermen. It's got to be, you know? What are you going to do with that? So anyway,
didn't you send Mikey on assignment over the weekend?
Yeah, we sent Mikey down to Wells Fargo Center.
I'm still waiting for my refund. You guys sent me. Where's my? I paid for the ticket. Where you guys have tickets?
It's
on the mail.
Man.
All right.
You know?
You never looked inside. He didn't look inside the T-shirt pocket.
He's got inside T-shirts right for Joey. Is your check?
Is a little envelope. There's a little envelope there.
So anyway, you came back here and you seemed a little disappointed with the show.
I did. I mean, are you ready for your ratings, Spike? Because we're talking wrestling right now.
Yeah, that's Spike. Let's see the ratings, Spike. I'll talk wrestling. I mean, I know. Hey, football, wrestling. What's the difference?
It's all the same nowadays.
All the same, yeah. So who can make more money? You know.
Man, it was a tough night. It was a rough night to be a fan. I was down with a couple friends. I know, as you don't know, Royal Rumble, the second biggest show of the year, was in Philadelphia last night, and everything was going fine up until the Royal Rumble match itself, which is, of course, that's the main reason you go. And I mean, you followed wrestling earlier, so I mean, even if you don't know it now, basically
it's still the same. They count down the guys that go in the ring. It's a lumberjack match, basically.
No, it's not lumberjack.
Over the top.
It's like
over the top.
Royal
Yeah, that's it. Battle Royal. All right.
And the fans are not basically the hand-picked guy. You know, the golden boy is Roman Reigns. The hand-pick, he's the guy that, you know, the higher-ups, they said, he's our guy. He's going to be, you guys need to cheer for this guy. And we don't want to cheer for this guy. And that's a problem in wrestling. When, you know, in football, you know, New England, people are going to cheer for New England. And, you know, Seattle's going to cheer for Seattle. In wrestling, it's good versus bad. But if you tell us someone's good and we don't think he's good,
a heel or a face, right?
We're going to take a big steam and shit on you.
You mean heel or face, or you mean like a good athlete?
I mean heel and face. I was trying to keep it less, you know.
Hey, I know my lingo, baby.
Yeah,
I followed it for years.
The average one doesn't know. But
when I started dying in the ring, I started getting like, you know what? I don't want to watch this no more.
Yeah, that was an awkward day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically we have a guy that we as the fans are behind. That's Daniel Bryan, 5'11", 190 pounds. He's got a face for radio, put it much, but he's a great wrestler. So that's the fan. That's who the fans want. That's what we wanted to win last night. He got eliminated like 13th out of 30. Like he wasn't even in the running. So naturally, the Philadelphia fans are known to be the most hardcore and diehard fans. Us in New York, Chicago, top 3. And we booed for the next about 45 minutes straight. Didn't matter what they threw out at us. We didn't want to see it. And that may work other businesses and other, you know, companies, but when it comes to wrestling, you need to cheer the good and boo the bad. But we were booing the bad and booing the good. We booed everybody that was out there because we didn't get what we wanted. Yeah. And that's the beauty of that. Is the one good thing about being a wrestling fan is you don't have to, like, just there's no allegiance to like, oh well, we have to like this guy. Like if you're from Philadelphia, you have to like the Phillies. Like, no, you can like whoever you want in wrestling. And you know, we didn't get what we came for pretty much.
Speaking of which, doesn't that the Flair now isn't Ric Flair is going to Super Bowl, baby. He's in Seattle because
his team lost. Wasn't he the Colts guy?
No, I thought he was Seahawks.
No, he was the Colts. He was
all right.
How old is Flair?
68.
No way.
67, 68.
No way.
He was 68 when I was a kid.
No, he's not. He's
I want to say he's my parents' age, 67 or 67.
I can promise you he's younger than
66, 67, 68, right somewhere in there. But I mean, like you're
65. It's still older than I thought it was. He's my dad's age.
So you're looking at your like I followed it a long time. Mm-hmm. In fact, I was into it in the heyday. We were NWO. You know, like I think that was when it was probably at its height. Mm-hmm. It drug in, like you're talking about at that time. It was, you know, you had ECW.
Late 90s was the premiere. In
oh my God. Monday Night Wars.
As far as I'm concerned, you know, my daughter was born in 99. There was a heyday of The Rock.
Absolutely was. And who made an appearance, by the way, last night?
Yeah,
he was there.
He is. To me, people will disagree with me, but he made wrestling from the 90s into the 2000s. That whole, because of his persona was so powerful.
Him and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve Austin
were the two driving forces.
And because these guys could act.
Yeah,
you were good actors.
Austin's all right. I mean, he's made some movies.
It's not about acting in wrestling. It's about screen presence. It's about presence, and that's basically what it is.
Rock can literally act.
Yeah, but he can literally act.
So if you can literally act, then you damn sure can wrestling act.
Yeah, and he's a good dude too. He doesn't put himself in bad positions.
Oh, that's his. Last night he did. That was the problem. Is Roman Reigns?
No, I mean in real life.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, but back in the wrestling world, Roman Reigns is Rock's legitimate cousin. They are cousins. They're family. So the WWE this is how you know it's bad. The WWE brought out The Rock to like, hey, cheer for him, please.
Yes, get a
screen, cheer for my cousin, please. And we booed The Rock. That hasn't been done in 10, 15 years.
Oh, wow.
He booed The Rock.
Well, he has an incredible lineage himself. I mean,
they're
Rocky Maivia.
They're all from a huge family. There's like 30 of them.
It's like the Gracies.
Yeah. So I mean, if you,
it's not the same ballpark, but I understand what you're saying.
No, the lineage. I'm saying the years goes back.
I thought that The Rock could raise, you know, Osama bin Laden's arm, and we'd cheer because how it's the presence The Rock has. He held up Roman Reigns' hands, and we're like, no, don't try to do it.
If you smell what bin Laden's smoking,
exactly, and we would have been cheering along.
Yeah.
Well, bin Laden, yeah, we would have been doing it. We would have. But yeah, so it was an ugly night for the sport.
I've never been to a wrestling event.
You didn't go. You didn't go with us.
I've never went to a wrestling event. I've never been to and I've hung out and I've been friends with some guys who are real total wrestling people. You know, when I used to rent.
It's a fun time because I mean, with people I went with, like you don't even have to really be a huge wrestling fan to go because it's just fun to. You can say whatever you can say what you want if you. Even if you have no idea who you are, just boo the hell out of them.
This is we rented a limo when it was down at the Spectrum. We rented a limo.
You rented a limo.
We rented a limo and we got down there. And half of us got dressed up as. We had one guy 6'2". He was dressed as Sting.
Oh yeah.
And we're hanging out of the freaking limo. We got a Buff Bagwell. We got a Big Show. and we're hanging out. And we pull up in the front thing and we hang out of the limo and all of a sudden like 40, 50 people started storming the limo. We're like, holy shit, get the hell out of here. So we had to drive around the other side.
There was plenty of people in
It was great. I mean,
saw
it was
5
fun.
Ric Flairs. I saw Hogan. I saw Macho Man. They were
and you got, you know,
Sheik. They were all dressed
and
up.
they make fun of
the Sheik's the dude, man. He's
I mean, I know you have the
he's
Twitter
a verbal.
Do you follow him on Twitter at all?
I heard Sheik is one of the most followed personalities in the Twitter. What do you call it?
Twitter sphere.
The Twitter
sphere.
He is. Yeah, he is. You know,
he's very vulgar.
Do you know what?
He's very graphic. He doesn't know English very well.
Right.
But he says anything that comes into his mind.
You know what kicked him up? He did a stint on Howard Stern.
Did he?
And saw a show that he could say whatever the hell he wanted to. And he did it. He was on the Stern show. He's in the early to mid 90s. He was doing a lot of Stern, especially when he flipped over to satellite and he could say whatever he want. You know, he used to have wars in there with him. But he's funny, man.
I mean, I've on many occasions told him. See, the thing with Sheik is he he has opinion on literally everything that happens.
Right.
It doesn't have to be sports, it could be anything.
Does he even fight anymore?
No, God, he can barely walk anymore.
Yeah. But what was the last time when even back then in the 90s he wasn't fighting anymore?
No. I mean, he was probably doing like the independent thing.
Hogan.
He just showed up.
He's gay.
Chopped somebody or whatever he does, and got a payday. But
camel clutch was his move.
Yeah, but I don't even think he could do that. With his knees, he probably couldn't do
that.
I think Freddie Blassie was his coach or his manager back when he first came in. Right?
Maybe Albano. Maybe I don't know.
No, it was Blassie.
Blassie, he came in. Sheik was in with Nikolai Volkov, which I think might be before your time.
No, I know. I mean, when it comes to wrestling, I can go back as far as it goes. I
was the 12:30 show and the 5:30 show on Saturday mornings with Vince McMahon used to stand in the middle of the two fighters with Tony Gurria, Haystacks Calhoun, and who is that? Bruno Sammartino, which was like
the living legend.
The living legend, Bruno Sammartino. Remember him? Yeah, and I used to wait. The microphone was all orchestrated too, back and forth. Like McMahon had the phone in front of the guy before he even talking, and he'd go back and forth. And no one knew back then McMahon's dad was running the whole show.
Yeah, and eventually him.
Yeah, that was. You know what? And back then I didn't think it was fixed because I didn't care if it was fixed. It was entertainment for me at that point.
Like they tried to let you think it was like. Remember, the more fun thing about it for me was PWI every week, Pro Wrestling Illustrated or whatever. One of them would have the rankings. It's like, and you realized, that power rankings, the same thing. Who was the number one contender? Who was third in line? And then you'd have because it was NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, was made up of the Florida Wrestling League.
I thought it was New World Order.
No, NWO was.
Right. That's when didn't Hogan start something?
Hogan started that.
But you had it was Florida Wrestling and it was Texas League, all these minor companies that got together and said, all right, it was basically like your football owners of today getting together, hiring a commissioner and saying, okay, this is as long as we get our piece, we don't care what happens. And that's what it was back then. You had Kerry Von Erich was the Florida heavyweight champion, and he was number 3 in line for the throne because, or for number 1 contender or whatever.
There was an outfit here in Philadelphia, I guess ECW.
Yeah.
And they had Taz, and there's another dude too.
Tommy Dreamer.
There's another guy who came over.
Sabu.
Sabu, yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, I like that.
Terry Funk. That's probably the best. Him and Terry Funk wrestling where he had his arm all cut up with the barbed wire and he just duct taped it toward him. Blood everywhere.
I did just pull up Iron Sheik's Twitter, by the way. Like I was saying, he has an opinion on literally everything. They usually always involve cursing and broken English. He has, mind you,
you got to say it the way he's doing.
I'm not gonna say it in his voice. I'm not gonna even attempt that impression. But mind you, this guy hasn't wrestled in how long? 20 years. So he shouldn't be at least 20, probably 30. He shouldn't be known by today's people. This man has almost 500,000 followers on Twitter. He can't speak English.
Wow.
So let's just, like I said, he has opinions on everything.
Stop following him, man.
And I hope
have a what you call it, Instagram?
He probably does. Do you really want to see the Iron Sheik?
No, not really.
But I hope my parents aren't watching because I'm going to curse it out, unfortunately, because that's all he does. This is 17 minutes. Sheik, he sent this one out. And it's always in all caps, by the way, because he's always yelling. Good night, Snow. I go to put you in camel clutch, break your fucking neck, make you humble jabroni. That's him.
He loves that jabroni.
Then we got 26 minutes ago. Happy birthday to the Vince Carter. First woman basketball player in NBA history. He has no problem coming at people very publicly.
Right.
I mean, it's to the point where.
And if you're Vince Carter, what are you going to do?
No,
you're going to go after You're going to go after the Iron Sheik.
He very much hates Mondays. Every Monday he gets fucked them. Yeah, you see it in all cap right here. Fuck them Monday. But sometimes he will respect people. Like he will say, "Respect the Mizdow." That's why he's a wrestler.
He's not talking wrestling. I'm quoting the Iron Sheik here.
You never thought you'd get here, would you?
I've evolved.
No, you've devolved. You're going back to the days when you thought when it was fun. I mean, I don't know if it's too much show anymore. I mean, hey, all right. Next week's top three wrestling moments. Think about it. How about that? Even Cashy can get down with that.
Got a couple tweets here. Not tweets, a couple tweets. I got tweets. I got instant messages. Text is coming over the text board here. Calzo wants to know where's his Triple X hoodie?
Who said that?
Calzone.
Send it out.
Yeah. We'll hook you up like that. You got to come down to the studio. You want to get that. And then he writes back, he's a pain in the balls. Those are texts I had to read, right?
And I'll cap off this wrestling conversation with one more last. Beautiful. It's a beautiful, well-written note by Iron Sheik. He says, this Valentine's Day, go fuck yourself.
Simple enough. Yeah.
Right to the point. That's Sheik.
Yeah, but all in all, wrestling has lost a lot of steam, obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think, and I go back, and we talked about this with Steve Austin several times about MMA. The UFC has actually taken wrestling and made it real with the blood and guts and the thing. The guy's really pounding it, and there's no fake blood involved and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is the UFC, when it first started and it got away from the Gracie stuff, they had characters. You had Chuck Liddell. You had a couple other guys out there who were,
Tank Abbott,
Uriah Faber. These are characters. These are people who you could follow, watch, and really were fighting.
Yeah.
And they broke their hands in the ring, and they played with broken. They fought with broken wrists. And
I remember that Faber fight we had.
Two broken wrists.
He fought two broken wrists for 5 rounds.
Punch you with his elbows because he couldn't fight. But that kind of, and then they started filling stadiums and charging money like you wouldn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
And even that has calmed down a little bit now.
Yeah, UFC is not as hot as it was,
No.
even just 5 years ago.
No, everything dies. That's the way
it all comes and goes.
Yeah.
Whatever's new.
Except for the NFL. The NFL never dies.
Not yet.
Even baseball had its lull there. Basketball had a real low. Hockey had a lot of trouble. The NFL has never had that. Even those 70 strike years, those early 80 strike years, they battled through that and managed to come out smelling like a rose and making money. We're not going to play our players anymore. That kind of, we might as well play them because we can make the money back and forth. And everything has its cycles in life. That's how it is. And the wrestling is just, a generation's gone already. And the new generation's seeing UFC. So how do you compare the two?
It's to the point now, like where WWE has their own network, and you can watch all the old things from that time, like the late 90s when it was good. And there's one show, it's called The Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
It chronicles between WWE and WCW.
Oh, you're a closet wrestling guy.
Yeah, he is.
I always was. Yeah.
But
I know that.
they were showing the ratings back then. WWE would get a 6.3, WCW was getting a 5.8. Nowadays, that's a combined. I mean, you can't watch. They're all at the same time. You can't watch them both together. Yeah. So that's a combined about a 12 rating. Right now, they're pulling about a 2.9.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that's.
I was going to say 3.
That's about 5 to 6. 5. Times less people are watching now than just 15 years ago.
I wonder what it would be like. Put that in comparison to like a network TV show.
Yeah. Well, no, in comparison to network TV, they're still doing good.
Yeah.
Like they are of cable programs. They're still getting like 5 million viewers on Monday, which is it's still solid. It's not. Obviously, you're not going to compete with 2.5 Men and American Idol. That's not possible. But against any show on USA and TNT, all those kind of things, they're still. That's why they're still around. Even though it's like I said, 5 times less popular than it was, it's still more popular than even these shows on the other networks. So it's not going to go away anytime soon. It's not going to go away ever, probably. It's just unfortunately it's not what it was.
Needs to evolve. That's all it does. You change it. Somebody's out there. The next Eric Bishop is out there because that's basically the guy that I guess changed everything and made it what it was. Brought it to its heyday.
Mm-hmm.
And you need the next guy's out there somewhere working for that company. Just got to figure it out.
He's back. He goes way back. He's not early 90s, right?
He started early 90s.
He's the one that basically started
and got to the early 90s. He was in Philadelphia over the weekend. He was here.
I remember him. He took over back in the day for who was the manager everybody used to like back then in wrestling?
What back when? What year?
Back in the 90s. The manager.
He wasn't a manager.
Yeah, but there was another guy who was a good guy. I can't remember.
A good guy or Jerry Hart, right?
I mean, Heenan was a bad guy.
He was a bad guy.
Yeah. I don't know who the good one was.
I don't know. There weren't many very good managers growing up because you know what? If you were a good wrestler, your whole, you didn't need the whole point of the manager was to distract the referee so you could win your match. And if you had a valet girl, like, God, I'm really showing my age. I'm like Missy Hyatt or Ms. Elizabeth, if you had one of them, you were definitely
nowadays,
a bad guy.
Flat out don't see. The only one you see now is Paul Heyman. And he was the ECW owner. He's the best.
And a lot of
he's
those
best,
guys
he's the best
hate him.
there is.
A lot of the wrestlers, a lot of the old wrestlers during that turnover.
Because he owes half of money.
Yeah, and he just like sold them all out, sold everybody's contracts out or whatever happened there.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna wrap up the show. It's 11:04. I'm gonna hit the road. I got a feeling I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna see a dusting on the road. I'm gonna be real ticked off. Sports Goombahs and Cashier King. I got my chef to the left, Brandon B. Mikey Walls. Good show tonight, guys. A lot of talking. I'd like to thank we have a Jeffrey Brandis was a call in there. No pick from him. I'm gonna have to text him, see what happened to him. Probably fell asleep during the show. He's an early go-downer. We'll be back next week. We're gonna do some Super Bowl talk. We're gonna do top 10 moments of the Super Bowl. I want to do or
10
on top. Between the three of us, we do the top 10. Might as well put them together instead of doing
the game itself.
Yeah. We'll do actually do the top 10 minutes of the game. So that's what we all gotta watch.
Well, I think we're all gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Great show. Be careful out there on the road. Cashier King, chef to the left. Like the wall. This is Sports Goombahs. We're live from the 515 studios in Ben Salem, PA. We will see you next week.
See you.
Thank you.